What is up, EOP Sports? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This isn't Wednesday night. This is Saturday morning. What's up, Pattison Ave Phanatics fans? I'm Big Al because TK is off for the day, and I got the whole crew in front of me. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
What's happening?
How we doing?
All right. Well, looks like we're going to start the morning off right. We got a lot of sports to cover. Of course, the Eagles are taking on the Saints in what can be considered a pivotal game for the Eagles this week. Also, I'm going to start right off. I want to jump into a little Phillies talk because we don't at this time of year get often a chance to do so. But Bryce Harper is your MVP of the National League. I want to start with my personal opinion on this and a lot of the feedback I've been getting from people is, well, who cares? We didn't go to the playoffs. Can I just point something out? The MVP is not MVT. It's MVP player. So it's an individual thing. It's not a team thing. It's an individual thing. I'm going to point this out one more time. Player. He is the player. And actually, give the guy more credit. Is it harder to be an MVP on a bad team or a good team?
Well, to be fair, MVPs normally come from teams that don't make the playoffs. All the other candidates that were up for MVP, all the teams didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and to me, I think it's a lot harder when you don't have guys, then maybe when you have other guys who are doing well around you, it's hard to shine. But, I mean, it's the proof's in the pudding. The stats are there. It's not like anybody's giving him a free ride in any which way. So I am happy for Bryce Harper. And how he handled himself, I heard him on WIP, the morning show the other day, right, the day after he won. And the guy I don't know if he has a Philly coach, if there's such a thing. A
Philly coach?
A Philly coach. Not a Phillies coach. A Philly coach on how to talk and act the appropriate way.
He's saying the right things, the exact right things that the Philly fan base wants to hear.
Well, Bryce always does.
And that's the thing is, he won, and I heard the interview with Jim Salisbury that he did, and he basically said, look, yes, this is great. This is awesome, especially where I am in my life right now with the family and everything like that. Unlike 2015, he's like, I was young. I was like, okay, next award. It was nothing to him. This one meant more. But more than that, he said to Jim Salisbury something that every Phillies fan, including myself, I was waiting to hear if he would say, and it's, this is good, but this isn't why I came here. The reason why I came here is to win a World Series. And build that, and that's why I signed here for as long as I did. That's why, I wanted to be, make sure that I could do whatever I had to do to make this team better. He clearly wants to be here. And I'll chime off of what you're saying, Al. At least the MVP in baseball actually stands for most valuable player, unlike in basketball where last year it stood for most valuable participant. Because you didn't give it to the guy that got the most stats or did the most work for his team. You gave it to the guy that showed up every day and clocked in and clocked out. He was a one-sided player. That is what my opinion is on that. But I'm proud of Bryce because of two things. Number one, because he did it in the fashion he did it. In 74, he played 74 straight games.
That's a lot, Joey.
That is a ton. I mean,
well, he had time to could have times off, but he chose not to do that.
Well, true. Girardi gave him options to take off, and he's like, "No, we're hurting. I'll play through." Right. And then you even go back to St. Louis when he got hit in the face. He said, yeah, a 97-mile-an-hour fastball to the face does not tickle. He didn't think he'd get back up from that. Between that and the hand, he battled a lot of things throughout the season, the highs and the lows. So we talk about, the athletes that are in Philly now and, what mentality you have to have. This guy is the epitome of what Philly fans want to see in their athlete. A guy that rides those lows and brings in the highs, fights
Absolutely.
back. And
it's a grittiness, that blue collar, feeling, and just got people that work hard for their money to watch a game, to enjoy it.
Right.
We say it 1,000 times, and how some ways our grittiness can kind of bite us in the ass a little bit.
Well, he's a warrior, Al. You know that.
Yeah, but Bryce Harper, it's not an issue. And real quick, before we go further on, I want to remind those who are joining us today. We have a special giveaway for you. Philly Sports Trips has donated to us 2 tickets for their tailgate this Sunday, right before the game, at the Navy Yard. It's called the Gatehouse at the Navy Yard. It's a $150 value, 2 tickets, free. You can drink and eat. 97.5 The Phanatics going to be there. There's a lot of other vendors and things there to check out. It's an amazing time. It's an amazing thing. But what we're going to do for you is randomly at one point during the show, I'm going to put a ticker on the bottom. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but you got to keep your eye on the screen. When I put that ticker up, the phone number will be up there. You call in. First call, we'll get a chance to answer a question. If you get it right, you will then be able to win those 2 tickets.
Wow.
Okay, we'll go until we get the tickets.
Sounds
okay.
like a plan now.
It is a plan, and it's going to be a good time. So keep your eye on the bottom of the screen for the 97 or for the ticker, and we will get everything to you. And we'll go over our sponsors just shortly. Sorry to cut you off.
No problem. But the second thing is now next season for Phillies fans, we have a new chant. Instead of it just being MVP, it's MV3.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that because
I think Joey one step down and one to go. What do you think? One step down, winning the MVP. Now the one to go is the World Series. I mean, that's
I agree. There's a lot of work to do.
There's
lot
tons of work to do.
A lot of work to do.
Are you kidding?
And that's another thing I like about it. He was willing to say that.
Yeah.
We need a closer. We need a left fielder. We need a center fielder. We
need
need people to compliment me. I mean, that's what he's saying.
Well,
like, it
listen,
can't just be me.
Now this team needs a lot.
You pay a guy $313 million. He's allowed to say what he needs to say. He's basically part owner of the team at this point.
We saw how instrumental, and say it if you don't believe it or not, how instrumental he was in getting JT to be signed back here.
That was a huge.
You know, I mean, literally the minute when he crossed the plate, doing the whole signature thing, when he hit a home run, or when JT hit a home run.
Even in practice, how when he was like, sign him.
Yeah.
You know, he's like,
yeah. And then like Mark said, you're pretty much at this point. You're a partial owner or some sort of miniature GM at the very least.
You got a big ass say.
But it's not just the money though. I mean, it's also his voice. It's the Bryce Harper swag. I mean, let's be honest. We always say there's guys who put better numbers up than Bryce Harper, except for this year, of course.
Right.
That put better numbers up than Bryce Harper, but. I mean,
I love how he feeds off the crowd when they're away games.
Yeah, I love how he feeds off the crowd when.
So great.
Well, that was the thing he said in the Jim Salisbury thing. He's like, yeah, in 2015 in DC, like the reason why he liked DC because he got drafted there clearly, but he didn't like some parts of it because it felt like there wasn't that. Even when they were doing well, even when he was doing well, it just seemed very vanilla. Mm-hmm. And when he came here, I believe it was the first series he came here. I don't think it was the first game. It was the first series. He hit a home run to win the game.
Right.
And it's an iconic video where he's tossing his helmet off and he's yelling and he's roaring at the crowd. He says in the Salisbury interview, he's like, this fan base carries me through the times where I just I'm exhausted. Mm-hmm. And this is probably the best fan base in all of sports.
Yeah, and the thing about it, too, is that with Harper, like, when he came in, like, he was like an outsider, obviously, with the Nationals. And when he came in here and embraced the Philly fan base with open arms, it was phenomenal, you know? And him winning that MVP is probably, like I remember when Howard won the MVP, Rollins won the MVP, too, and then the next year they captured the World Series. Yeah. So maybe it can be like a trend now.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, and you got to think it's so fitting. I mean, it was kind of like a spoiler in a little way because like when I heard that Schmidt's doing the announcing, I'm like,
yeah, I mean, it's like
okay, are you really gonna give it to like Tatis? Like,
yeah, I mean, it should have been obvious if Schmidt was like the one that was the
I mean, listen, it would be more of a. Oh man, that really sucks.
Yeah,
situation. But I don't think that's a full tell. I mean, he just chose to do it.
I think we all knew we had it.
I think we knew we had.
Listen, if there was close numbers, like him and somebody else were real close,
right.
The Harper effect would have probably given him the edge.
Oh,
you know what I mean? He's for all intents and purposes, he's the face of baseball.
Right.
You know, you got Mike Trout, who's probably a better player.
Right.
You know, gets paid more than he does now. But he just doesn't have that personality. And Bryce Harper has no problem being in front of the camera, has no problem talking, has no problem showing the energy that he does. And he does it all in the right way. Like I said, either he's a really smart man where he's got the best coach around him. Like
I did see a little emotion on Bryce Harper though when he won the MVP.
Yeah, when they had him
right.
in the on the phone thing
right.
for the at home.
Right.
He got emotional, but he got emotional and he said this later. He was like, it was because this one meant more because of his family.
Sure.
But the interesting thing, and I'll even chime in, a better situation with that, Al, is I think like Philly fans, and we all know because of this show and this network and the talent that comes with fire and debates and whatnot, there is a no BS meter in Philadelphia sports, and Bryce doesn't have a BS meter.
No.
He
gets it
straight. I'm gonna tell you like I see it. You can hate it, love it. I don't have to pander to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to, because if I did, you would see right through me. And I can respect a guy that's going to shoot me straight.
How can you not, Joey?
I mean, like, that's the thing is, and that's, and we'll get into it later, but that's partly the reason why I don't respect guys that don't shoot me straight. And like, that's the thing is, with Bryce, I see this as a guy who, first off, when we signed him, I didn't care about the money. I just fact that we signed.
Well, it wasn't digging into your pockets, that's for sure.
Well, I mean,
this is true, Al.
This is true, but at the same time, like, it does kind of dig into your pocket because the ownership has to make that money back. So they got to go to the consumers to make that money back. But
right.
here's where I'm going with this. First off, I consider, and I know I throw this adage around a lot, he's a generational player. He's a once in a generational player, and we got him.
Well, the thing about Bryce is he goes full force every game.
Oh yeah,
and we see that,
right?
And I think that's what Philadelphia likes. They like that,
right? And it's iconic. I mean, you could go back to like Allen Iverson,
sure,
and you could go back to like, and many people might disagree, but like you go back to like an Eric Lindros,
and even a Jimmy Rollins,
yeah,
like Ryan Howard, same thing.
Yeah. These guys, when you put your heart out there, this city embraces you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's why I just keep harping on the harping on the fact that he just knows what to say, and like I said, some people don't take it as real.
No,
because it just seems too genuine.
I think
I think
it comes natural.
Too perfect.
It comes natural to him, Al.
I think he's right. He's not afraid of speaking his mind. I mean, and he does speak against not the Phillies in a bad way, but like back to the JT thing. Hey, I'm willing to say I don't care.
Right.
But this is what we need. And some people are still poo-pooing the JT because he didn't have a great second half of the year.
No, he didn't.
But he's still the best catcher in baseball.
Well,
he's critical of his teammates, and don't you want that in a leader to be critical, to hold your teammates?
Well, that's what a leader does, Joey.
Well, absolutely.
Job,
and listen, I want to move on a little bit in a second because there's not a lot of baseball talk. We're going to keep our eye on it because hopefully the closeout is during the off season. It doesn't affect the regular season, but we'll keep an eye on that. And hopefully we see some big signings coming down the line because they need to make some moves.
I saw your article. You were worried about the Marte thing you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what I said in the comments?
Yes.
I said, I like Marte, but he's 33. I mean, do we need a 33-year-old
But it's
outfielder?
I used it as it wasn't my choice.
More pitching
he wasn't
than
my
hitting.
choice of number one choice, but he's a guy you probably can get in the right price zone.
Right.
Because you're not going to be able to get all-star.
Right.
Because you still also need a starting pitcher. Fourth or fifth starting pitcher and some bullpen help. We're far from 2-3 pieces.
We're very far
The
away.
biggest three pieces are those, and that's why I put Marte out there as an option.
Right.
I'm not saying he's your best option.
No.
I'm just saying he might be a decent option in the sense of price range and the ability. He still has the ability to play center field. And if you get him and you have to move him over to left, because you can't get that all-star center fielder this year, you have that ability.
I'm not against the Marte thing. I just think he's. I don't just think.
Listen, I don't want to get another 30-some-year-old guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like you got somebody like a McCutcheon.
But you could probably get him for a couple years at most, and you're not going to be hogtied.
I mean, I hate to say this because I listened to your show on Wednesday at 9:30.
In fact, I love that show.
Yeah, I love that show too.
It's really great.
And I'll say this. I don't always agree with this guy, but I have to agree with him here just because I kind of want to get greedy.
Shot in the dark with Reddy?
No. I agree with Joe.
Oh, Joe, wow.
And I want my cake and
okay.
eat it too. Like I want to get a little younger with some of the farm system pieces that we need to bring in.
That's where I'm going with this, Joey.
And I want to get, but I also want to get guys that can play now
So you're
and be
so you're saying
be studs.
experience plus young.
Yeah,
Right,
I want
okay.
a little, and then, like Al,
Right.
Al referred to it when Joe brought this up. You want your cake and eat it too. I'm like, yeah, I do.
Well, don't we all? But that does not, you're not always going to get
I
that.
know that,
You know
but
that.
hey,
Come on,
if
Jay.
you ask me what I want my cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, listen, there's a way you're going to go about it, but with Dombrowski at the helm, that's not going to happen.
No.
But I think they start giving away some of these big guys that they don't use, like maybe Bryson Stott sticks around.
Right.
But maybe Mickey Moniak, they are able to trade for some younger players, like younger guys that they could bring and get two
Right.
for the price of one.
Give me some
That might be the way they do it.
23-year-olds.
You're not going to get any, huge piece
Right.
in the farm system, but they can get, if they have guys with the right eyes for talent, they can do it that way. And they put guys in the right, even Don Mattingly's son apparently is like this really genius eye for talent. But like I said, we're going to get into it a little further in a second. But real quick, I want to thank our sponsors. And I want to start with Philly Sports Trips because they have a big one coming up to the New York Giants game on the 28th. They have a great trip. The cost, you can't beat it, is absolutely the best price. And you get the bus trip, the food, the drink, the ticket, the experience. Go. Marks and I have been on a couple of these bus trips, and we've had a great time.
You get treated like a king. I mean, honestly, you get treated like a king.
You absolutely do. And, guys, as I remind you, today, at one point during this show, you will randomly see a ticker on the bottom of the page telling you to call in. And today, you can win for the tailgate for this Sunday before the Eagles-Saints game down at the Navy Yard at the Gatehouse.
That's a 1 o'clock start, right?
Is it 1
Is it 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I think it's 1
Yeah.
o'clock.
Okay,
yeah.
1 o'clock. I wasn't sure what time the game
Yeah.
was. Okay.
So you get down there, you get your booze, your drinks, your food, the atmosphere. 97.5 will be there live. The whole thing. It's a $150 value for 2 tickets. You can't beat it. And if you don't get the tickets today, go to phillysportstrips.com and sign up and you can get them right the day of the game.
FYI, people, when we talk about food down there, we're not just talking about like cookout.
Filet mignon sandwiches.
Yeah,
Oh, so
I'm
good.
telling you, I did not expect what I walked into, and I'm like, say, excuse me, and I'm like, because you expect hot dogs and hamburgers and like chicken
it's-
wings and
Right.
whatnot.
Yeah.
But like you walk in and filet mignon, like
Filet mignon?
filet mignon steak sandwiches.
Wow.
I'm like, excuse me,
Yeah.
I'll be
Pasta.
right back.
There's,
I'll be right back.
There's seafood.
I might
mean,
go one for tonight.
Cavs Catering.
Sounds like a
is,
plan.
Cavs
Yeah,
Catering
right.
is the catering company that works with them, and they do a phenomenal job. I've had them at
Phenomenal.
parties and
Very
stuff like
nice.
that, like high-end seafood. Like, it's there. It's not like he said. It's not just some hamburgers and hot dogs and somebody with a beat-up old charcoal grill.
Chicken wings. Is
Yeah.
Yeah, throwing them out. Yeah,
It's
but,
not Uncle Louie with the
but-
you
yeah.
charcoal grill cooking up and
But
setting
keep
all
your
things
eyes
fire.
on the bottom of the screen. You'll see it ticking by. Once you see that ticker, I'm not going to tell you. You got to keep your eye open. There it is. And guys, remember the entire EOP family. Mondays at 9 a.m. The Broad Street Bully podcast is always dropping on all your podcast outlets. You can find them also at eopsports.com at the Pattison, or at the Broad Street Bully link. Philly Press Box Radio has Sam Carchidi earlier, the Phillies Flyers beat writer, Wednesday, and then of course Fred and Joe and myself had John Hendricks from the Saints News Network on Sports Illustrated call in so we could talk a little Saints-Eagles matchup.
He was such a good sport.
Yeah, he was. Man, you have to be when you come on the show
Yeah.
with us, right? And then, of course, we had Kyle breaking down the Saints-Eagles game even further on Thursday night. And then, of course, today, Pattison Ave Phanatics doing their thing. And we're going to jump into, as we call Dave's favorite subject, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Great.
So,
Hey, you got nothing to worry about. You got a 3.5 game lead on us.
Yeah,
Relax.
I know, but I don't
Relax.
have I don't have Amari Cooper tomorrow either. So what are you gonna do?
Oh, boo-hoo for you.
He's on the COVID list.
Oh, boo-hoo for you.
it's a big matchup for your team.
It's a very big matchup.
We'll get into that when I feel like throwing up. Now,
Okay. Please don't.
I'm going to start with this. Let's look at the final injury report, right?
Okay.
Let's look at it. For the Saints, I should say. They are definitely out as of yesterday.
Kamara's out.
Kamara is out, and their two stud offensive tackles are both out.
I heard that. I didn't know. I wasn't sure if that was a definite or not. Okay.
Ty Montgomery is out as well, which is
Yep.
kind of their quasi back wide receiver, kind of like they use them in
Didn't see that
Green
either.
Bay. And then they have a defensive tackle and a defensive end, both out. So, knowing that, giving you that information, knowing our injury report, which I will tell you, and actually
Yeah, who's on the?
questionable is Taysom Hill. So there's a world beater
I heard
for
Miles
you.
Sanders was questionable too. Is that right?
No, he's not. He's questionable, but they're leaning more to that he's not.
Okay.
Gonna
All
play.
right, questionable right now is Derek Barnett. Oh, well, we have Les Bonehead plays. And Davion Taylor with his knee. Looks like that nagging knee issue.
What's up with Goddard? Is he going to play tomorrow? Do we know?
Probably not.
They don't have him.
would-
He
They
did
don't
the
have him.
walkthrough.
They don't have him as marked as out.
Okay.
Okay.
So-
He did the walkthrough on Thursday.
Only one player has been ruled out, and that's Jack Anderson.
Didn't he sign a huge deal
It's
yesterday?
a healthy scratch.
Yeah, he signed an extension.
Yeah, I
Goddard.
thought I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2025, you'll see him through. 35 million guaranteed.
So real quick before you go on with the show, or not the show, but what does that Ertz think of this? I mean, what's his deal? I mean,
What do you think Ertz didn't see this coming?
no, I don't know if he did it. I'm asking you. Do you think he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know you're trying to be sold, and you have a younger tight end
But-
that is it's a very good tight end.
I mean-
So yeah, I mean it makes sense. Like
To be fair, he did it to Brent Selleck, so he knows.
Okay.
I mean,
He's aware.
It's
Okay,
the nature of
okay.
this beast.
Okay, I didn't think about that. You're right, Josh.
You're a tight end who, like, listen, let's take nothing away from Ertz. Take nothing away from him, but he was on the older end of it, wrong end of his career, I
Okay.
should say. Still got plenty of game left of him.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you need to lock a guy up to 2025 and keeping him happy. Can't do it.
Well, you got to take that for the next 4 years. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got it.
I mean,
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert has really, I felt, stepped into it outside of, getting hurt. I mean, that's not
Right.
something he can control. That was a
Right.
shitty hit.
That was it was a pretty bad hit.
Yeah, I think the Goddard move is a good piece, I guess, like for the future.
So you do like it?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's good to have a tight end instead of like drafting another one. I'd start from the ground up. But yeah, I think it was just kind of weird that like they signed Goddard, but they didn't do that to Ertz. Was a little bit weird to me.
Do you think it was bad timing, Jay? I mean, doing it now, like in the middle of the season.
I mean, I don't think it was a bad time. I think it was probably like you either like I said, like you either find a way to have to draft another tight end and like go to free agency and then see what happens. But
Right.
yeah,
I think it's instrumental, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
yeah,
I think this
it is instrumental.
A lot of times you make these decisions during the year like this. It's harder to make them. They have to make the player themselves has to make more of a snap
but
decision.
in the middle of the season,
No. See, I think
It
I
is
think
weird.
that
you probably
was,
get it on the cheaper that way.
I think this
week
was-
11. Let's just sign Dallas Goedert for 4 years.
I think this was the dominoes that needed to fall. You give Ertz enough time still here. That's one of the reasons why I think they drew up that play for him to score a touchdown, because they were like, okay, now he's got his send off. But they had the deal prior to the game, and they just announced it after the game.
I said the deal was already done. You're saying.
Yeah, the deal was already done.
Okay.
And they just agreed that it would happen and be solidified the day after the Monday.
Gotcha.
So the thing is that the dominoes had to fall that way. You trade Ertz, and then you talk to Goddard. You sit down with Goddard and you go, okay, look,
Well, why-
this is our financial, what we are willing to agree with you and what our commitment is to you.
Right.
Goddard could have even said, no, I'm worth more than that. And I mean, right now in Cleveland, like, that's something that they're dealing with Baker Mayfield, is Baker thinks he's a top 5 quarterback and wants to be paid as such.
Right.
The Browns are like, no, dude, you aren't getting that. You're not getting $45 million a year.
No, he's not worth that.
Like, you're not getting that.
No.
Goddard knew where his place was. And, I mean, again, to kind of go with what Al said, doing it in the midseason, say he goes off at the rest of the season. Now, all of a sudden, that price tag goes up by at least $10 million.
Right.
And at least,
Or if he gets injured and then his price tag goes down. So
but then the value also goes down, too, in the sense of, do we even want to re-sign him?
So you sign it now where the price is where you want it,
Right.
And yeah, I'm sure the Eagles get a little less than they would like to. They wanted to spend for they would spend for him, and Dallas gets a good,
Oh, he gets his
good chunk of
deal.
change.
Yeah, sure.
And yes, Billy, I agree with you. It doesn't make sense having two very good tight ends making $35-50 million. Yeah, it'd
Correct.
Be,
Agreed.
It's like
Totally
having
agree with
$200
that.
million quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That's
It's
a
true.
inside joke between me and my buddy.
But let's look at this. And I called it earlier before we started. And for those who are just joining us, because some people just did, keep your eye on the bottom of the screen. That ticker can be coming up at any time for you to call in to win the 2 free tickets
Keep
to
looking.
the tailgate for the Philly Sports Trips this Sunday. It is a pivotal game in the sense that not if they lose it, they're out of it. pivotal in the sense to me is we have a very upcoming, nice setup schedule. No far traveling, weak teams. And I know what you're going to say, except for that last one. And the reason I'm going to say this is they might be out of.
I'm just hoping it doesn't count. It doesn't matter at that
You're
point.
hoping,
That's
yes.
what I'm hoping.
I'm wondering if it will too.
I'm still saying what I said in the beginning of the season. I think the season comes down to that game.
I don't think so, John.
I do.
No.
Go
ahead.
I have my
They're
doubts.
they're a game out of the wild card.
So you
I'm
think-
not saying they're going to win
so-
that division with that game. I'm saying that game is going to matter as far as the Eagles getting into playoffs.
I mean, the wild card, you're saying.
Well,
Okay.
playoffs.
He's not saying that the Dallas's season's going to be lying on that. What he's saying, the Eagles game
Season.
could be.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay,
Now, my
but-
question is, as
I don't care
fan,
about Dallas this season.
Obviously.
if the Eagles playoff berth is in that game,
Right.
Yeah.
and you guys, how happy are you if your team goes, well, we're playing our second string?
I'm just I don't know.
Do you want to play spoiler
Cooper
that
Rush?
much?
Cooper Rush will be playing. That's fine. I'm okay with it.
All right.
I mean,
Calm yourself, pal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just,
All right, no, let's look at the game ahead of us. Like I said, it's pivotal in the sense that the teams, we want to see Jalen Hurts getting better. That's the ultimate goal this season to me. Is the ultimate goal has to be progression in both Nick Sirianni and his coaching.
I think he's playing better.
As well as Jalen Hurts, and we saw them playing better. Now, he's lost. Let's see who he lost to. He lost to some of the, Tom Brady.
Come on.
He lost to Patrick Mahomes. Like these are guys you're gonna,
Top quarterbacks in this league.
you expect him to lose to,
Right.
and at least especially in this quasi rookie year for him, because that's what it is, his first full season at the helm.
Right.
I mean, I like what I saw from him. I sold on him, not 100%, but I'm not sold on him right now. I just want to see him keep getting better. Now, here you go. There's no world beater quarterback on this team right now.
Well, he just came off a big win against Denver. That was after a high they just did
Yeah.
to my boys. That was a
And
big,
you
that
know
was a
what?
big win
I
for the
ate
Eagles.
crow on Wednesday before the game. I even said it. I really thought that defense would have thrown some stuff at him and Nick Sirianni to throw them all off,
Right.
and it would have been a much tighter game.
Well, I've said this to both Dave and to James and everybody, is that in the beginning of the season, that Denver game I had marked down as a loss because we don't do well in my high. And so I kind of ate crow too. But, here's the thing. Even despite that win and me eating crow, I don't see that. If that is going to be, and it's going to be, but if that's going to be the star win of this season, I'm not really that satisfied with that. In the sense that, first off, you played Teddy Bridgewater, who played his worst game of the season.
I think that was his worst game this season.
That was his worst. He came into that game throwing 70% completion. He threw a 50% completion, if not a little lower, during that game. And, for me, it's like going into the Saints game, and now I'm going to turn my attention to Mr. Scorza, because last year around this time, the Eagles played the Saints.
Right.
And me and you had a bit of a contention because you said there's no way that Jalen Hurts is going to win this game.
I did.
And you said that the Saints have the number one defense and there's no way. And I'm like, okay. I think that the fact that the mystery of the unknown is going to bite the Saints in the ass, and it did. Now, here's the thing. There's no more mystery of the unknown of what Jalen Hurts is anymore.
Right.
And you have the Saints that maybe don't have the number one defense, but have the number one rush defense.
They're
Right.
good against the run, Joe.
Yeah.
Right,
And
then.
so
The other thing too that bothers me, and I brought it up with my dad yesterday, is that a couple weeks ago, Derek Carr played, and he looked like a
superstar, like Tom Brady. Yeah.
And I'm worried that we're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna do the same thing to Simeon. Maybe they'll probably adjust how.
Lord
they
have
did.
mercy.
If we make Trevor Simeon look like
Siemian.
Drew Brees,
If we make him look like the next Tom Brady, I think the whole stadium is going to riot.
yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of looting going.
It's bad. It's bad when you go from place to place and then you're like, okay. Think about it. The Saints, ever since Drew Brees retired, and I know that was recent, but even before, having Jameis Winston and now Simeon, you have guys that are like journeyman guys, but nothing to write home about, not world beaters, and that's the thing. With this game, I got to ask you, James, do you feel as though you did last season? Now it's different because they have tape on Jalen.
Yeah. And,
Right.
I mean, the thing about it is that, I mean, I'm still not sold what Hurts is yet, honestly.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
it's just like, I don't
you
know.
keep saying that.
Because it's like, look,
Well, there's no reason to be sold, James.
Well, I mean, he's
You
good.
haven't had enough sample size to be sold.
Well, yeah, I
You
understand that.
took the little hot dog off the tray at the supermarket, but you're not ready to buy the package.
Well, well, yeah. Okay.
Always comes back to food with James.
Yeah.
Peanuts and hot dogs and damn. Go ahead, James.
No. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if, last week was a good first half with Hurts. I would admit. But if you can do that for a full 60 minutes, like, tomorrow, and then, like, might be a big push in his, like, young career. But I think the one thing that is concerning, though, is that the passing game has just really been a real concern for me. Because it's like there's one pass that he does really good, but he can't contain those passes. And it feels like he throws it out of bounds more than find receivers.
So you want him to be consistent on the passes, which you're saying?
Sure, yeah. I mean,
Did you feel any better, James, following the Denver game? Just like that big bomb to he was very.
Yeah, I mean,
he was on the money, not just in that.
That was a nice catch.
I mean, the Quez Watkins. I mean, that was
Yeah,
Quez's fault for not catching that. I mean,
It was right in his
that's
hands.
the Hurts I want to see.
I'm just saying, like, it hasn't been 100% consistent, but as we said, he's been growing each week a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel slightly better? Just did you,
Little bit.
Did your needle move a little bit towards feeling better about him following the Denver game?
I mean, yeah, I seen some like progress like in that Denver game, and it was like that pass to Devontae Smith, like you said, Dave, was a good pass.
It was a good pass, right?
And I mean, I want to see more of that in that game tomorrow. I mean, but the thing about that, like I said, like the one thing that is concerning though is that when he doesn't find a receiver, he finds a way to run it, which by the way is great to like get those yards and all that.
Sure.
But you have to like look for receivers to be good in this league, kind of like Lamar Jackson type, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you see how he runs the ball, but he also can do is pass the ball consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But there's like some stuff he progresses, and there's other stuff that
He regresses.
that he regresses.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
If it's just me, but if he plays like the game against Denver tomorrow, I think it'll be a good day for them.
I mean, here's the thing. I've heard a term being thrown out there as like, a scarlet letter for Jalen Hurts, and it's that he's a game managing quarterback.
That's what he
Yeah.
is. I mean,
I didn't know that was a bad thing because
it's not
because last time I
But
checked,
it's not what you want to
it's
hear
not.
in your franchise quarterback.
okay. But here's the thing: was
mean-
Tom Brady a franchise quarterback?
Yes.
Was he a game manager? Because he doesn't have
Well,
a
Tom Brady's the
cannon.
greatest of all time.
Whoa. But hang on. But can
You're
you?
really gonna throw the moniker game manager on Tom Brady?
No.
You're about to lose your cred, dude.
Hold up.
Don't go there, Joey.
Hold up. Hold up.
Mark this down if
What
you're listening.
what
Please tune
defines
in.
a game manager? The fact that they can't do extraordinary things like throw a deep bomb or be versatile. Like, what in your mind defines a game managing quarterback? Because mine is that he manages the game in front of him. He doesn't try to overthink his route.
Brady doesn't overthink. He knows.
Right,
what he's
that's
doing.
my point.
I think
Brady's
what-
still doing
I
that
think what you're
44
seeing in
seconds.
growth
That's
from him.
enough already.
I'm going to put it up here on the screen. Billy Covington Jr. noted this. Are you saying Hurts isn't making the checkdowns before the runs? But that is what he did much better,
He did.
especially in the Denver game.
Well-
He could have ran a couple times, and he didn't, and he sat
Right.
in the pocket. He threw the pass. And this is something that you need to learn. Remember, you come from a college situation where they're like, just do whatever you got to do to win.
Well,
you want to
yeah.
scramble 30 yards, scramble 30 yards.
Al, he looks at one receiver, then he runs. That's what he does.
Well,
that's what he does.
to be fair,
That's my point.
If that receiver's not open, Al, he's going to go. He's just going to take off.
So let's be fair to the
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
to the gentleman and the player at hand, and this is why I say this is because number one, you have a rookie. He's still technically a rookie quarterback. You have a guy
See,
who's
I'm
also.
tired of hearing that, Joey.
I'm tired of hearing
Excuse-
about it.
whoa,
too.
whoa, hold up,
I'm tired of
fellas.
hearing it, Joey.
Hold up. How many games has he played? Started.
What, 14? Where
We're on the 15th game coming up.
Okay, then you're still going to call him a rookie quarterback after that.
That's a full season.
I don't agree with you very much, Dave, but I agree with what you're
Yeah.
saying. I mean, it's kind of like
Right.
another guy in this town that would just, but he didn't play a whole year, and then he
Right.
wanted to be the rookie of the year next year.
Right.
But I'm just saying,
Right.
you all said that you don't know what Jalen Hurts. At the end of last season, you all said to me you didn't know what Jalen
I
Hurts
did
was.
that.
that because it was a small sample size. Well, now you almost have a full season sample size.
Okay.
So now you know kind of what you have as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm putting him in that moniker. I'm judging him for all the body of work he's done so far up to this point. Mm-hmm. My point that I'm trying to get at is this, is that with him as a rookie, it's still kind of learning. You are not just dealing with a rookie quarterback. You're dealing with a rookie coach, a rookie almost everything around you. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that's not just learning a system. They're learning together.
Well, he learns as he goes.
And I'm going to have one big gripe about this, and I have to get this out. I have to vent.
Let it out, Joey.
Nick Sirianni.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
I'm a teacher. When I hear your press conferences, are you asking me or telling me? Because when you're asking the reporters what you did on the ground for rushing yards, are you asking me or telling me, Nick? Did you watch the game? Were you there? Were you on the sidelines? Were you
He hasn't had a chance to watch the tape yet, sir.
I don't. You were there. What do you mean you didn't have a chance to watch the tape? You were sitting on the sidelines. I didn't know you were like.
Oh, shit.
Okay, listen, dude. You're the head coach. You should be paying attention to everything. That's your job.
Wow.
So do your job. Don't sit here and act like you're just another. He sounded like a commentator. During his, he sounded like he was breaking it down like he's Troy Aikman on Fox. Mm. Like, after the game, I'm like, what am I listening to right now?
I can't even listen to him.
I really can't. It's I
don't watch press conferences, I don't know.
I watched the game, and then I watched the post game joke show. Like, it's ridiculous to me. But I'm going to go back to Jalen Hurts, the subject at hand. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to mention another name, and Al's probably going to jump on me. But I feel like with what we criticize Hurts about like the one read and run, he's still a rookie, but we had another quarterback here who wasn't a rookie. He was a veteran. And he kind of did the same thing and got ripped. And that was Michael Vick. Andy Reid's like, no, stay in the pocket. Stay in the pocket. Don't just one read and go. Like, Reid would rip him from pillar to post when he came off the sideline and would just try to run every time. He would literally look up, see one receiver, see he was covered, and go the other way. I think Hurts is in that mentality, but that doesn't mean you can't fix that mentality, and it's already showing. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm saying using the scarlet letter of game managing quarterback is not a bad thing. As a young quarterback, let him manage a game. If he's still pulling off wins and he's able to get experience seeing different schemes and coverages and stuff, his eyes and his experience is growing. So I'm okay with him being a game manager. He doesn't need to be the Lamar Jackson. No one expected him to be.
Right. No.
And so
no, I know. I'm not trying to compare and contrast the two. I understand that.
I'm just saying, like, I think people, put so much on this guy, and everyone's like, is he the franchise quarterback? I don't know yet, but
that's my
guys. Look at the bottom of the screen. Just keep going. Go ahead, guys.
And so
being a little nudge there for you kids out there in radio.
Bottom of the screen.
Bottom of the screen. Yeah.
I just feel like this guy can be the franchise quarterback, but I like what I'm seeing so far.
Okay.
Because I said in the beginning of the season, I think he's going to do 3,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing, 30 touchdowns, and 18 interceptions. Now, I said 18 interceptions because young quarterbacks typically, when they get a little gun-ho, they throw a little wild and they throw a lot of interceptions.
Okay.
That's just an atypical situation. He's got 2,000 yards passing so far. He's got over 500 yards rushing so far. I don't know what his touchdowns are yet.
No, I haven't looked at his.
But I can tell you this: he's got less interceptions. Mm. He's on pace for those stats. And understand, would you take a 3,000 and 1,000 yard rushing quarterback as a rookie? I mean, that's not something to really hate on.
Right.
I mean, here's the thing that, like I said, like I agree with what you were saying there, Joe, is that, like, I want to believe that he is the franchise quarterback, but it's just like there's good stuff that I see and there's some bad stuff I see out of him. I mean, And that comes over time. I mean, look, like you said, like there's a rookie coach and there's also a new scheme.
Right.
So I guess I got to give him a little bit of a pass.
So as we know, James is not completely sold yet.
I'm
not sold either.
I'm not
Right.
completely.
Nobody should be sold. I'm just
No.
going to throw that out there. Nobody
Nobody.
should be sold on this guy.
No.
I mean, the people that you listen, we all listen to sports radio. We listen to our stuff. We listen to people on the streets.
We do.
I don't care who your quarterback is. I mean, even if he came out and had this like world-beating year, like just like, oh my God, like he's the next Patrick Mahomes, he's the next whatever. That doesn't mean that lasts forever or anything. So either way it goes, but progression is the name of the game, and that's what's going on. He's progressively getting better. He's getting better. And you know what? And I know Freddie's here. He's breaking Dave Stones a little bit, but he makes a good point though. I gotta give
Here we go.
Fred a
Shots fired.
You can kind of compare him to like Dak was.
Dak his rookie year was 13-3, but you have to understand Dak.
Although there was
Right,
another quarterback.
But when Tony got hurt against Seattle in the preseason game, Dak had to come in there and he did a heck of a job.
Yo, Fred, I got your back, and I'm about.
it's fine.
I'm about to drop the bombshell on Mr. Dave.
Go ahead.
What did your boy Troy Aikman do in his rookie year?
He was 1-15.
Oh.
So what's your point?
So my point is, a guy that was supposed to come in and be like the next big thing in Dallas.
Wait. So now we're comparing him to Troy Aikman?
No,
Who has 3 Super Bowls?
No. I'm comparing him to a great quarterback in his eyes,
Well,
in his legacy.
I hope it's Troy Aikman, the announcer.
I think you could beat him in that too. I don't know. Have you ever heard some of his pressers? I don't know. Maybe
I mean,
Oh,
Nick
my
Sirianni could be Troy Aikman in the commentary department. He's already doing
I would
it.
actually quit commentating.
real quick, Al. I want to say this real quick. Do you think tomorrow's game is going to be a coaching debate between both teams? I mean, do you think that?
You mean like the coaching will make the difference? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah. Do you think Sean Payton will have a little?
Sean Payton can make a big difference. I mean, look at he takes quarterbacks that are just
Right. That's what. Right.
nothing anywhere else. He is a quarterback whisperer, if you want to call him that. But
It just seems to me like the Saints.
but
have
players
nobody,
play the game in my
but it
eyes to a
seems me
point.
like
Like
the Saints have nobody tomorrow. I mean, what am I missing except for their running back?
Yeah, but we say that like This is the thing.
I mean, you're telling me 2 offensive linemen are out. You're telling me
Hey.
Kamara's out.
Then again, Ingram can look like like a stud,
Right, that's
like
what
back
I'm
to Mark Ingram of the old.
I say this all the time.
I think
they haven't won at home yet.
But I think
And-
I get that. But I think the only thing the Saints have right now is they're good against the run. And if the Eagles going to run the ball, that's not.
if there's
be a
any
factor.
team in this NFL, and I'm an Eagles fan, if there's any
bottom
team,
screen, bottom screen.
if there's any team that in this league that can shoot themselves in the foot as easily and as quickly as possible, it's the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Okay.
Listen,
Because
it's
they have.
the term is any given Sunday for a
Yeah,
reason.
I get that.
You can't look past them. They still have a good defense.
Right.
So if your offense doesn't do their job, I mean, unless the defense is putting points on the board, big play Slay has another big play again.
Right.
Okay, let's settle down with the defense.
I know, but I'm just saying their defense isn't like I said. It's a good defense. So is the Broncos.
Right.
But they were able to shred them. So, but the thing is, can their defensive coordinator look at the Broncos game and not make the same mistakes? That where lies the question. But any given Sunday, I mean, how many times you say like, this team doesn't, can't run? It's like the 30th ranked rushing team. Yet they run all over.
Yeah.
It's just it happens.
Yeah.
Joey, did
Fletcher Cox doesn't have a good game, or Javon Hargrave doesn't have these mediocre games that we've seen that whole front line doing. That's our defense is predicated on this front four, and if we don't have them, it can be an ugly game. But I'm not looking at any team blowing the other team out.
I'm just saying coaching wise. That's all
I'm thinking. Listen, coaching can make a big difference in this. Listen,
chess game between me,
Nick
between
Sirianni's first year
and Peyton. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, that definitely does.
Nick's
push in
playing
their
bridge.
favor, but
he's not playing chess. He's playing bridge.
Joey,
Players play the game.
Joey,
that's
did
what
I hear this right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but did I hear that the last home game the Eagles won was against the Saints last season? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, what?
The last home game the Eagles won, not this season, Pitt.
Home
No,
season.
The
Was
last
it,
home.
Home game,
was against
yeah.
the Saints last season.
Oh my God!
Is that correct?
Yes.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Okay,
It was.
I thought I heard that. Okay.
So I mean, but here's where.
Okay, I'm
know
not
that.
saying that it matters. I'm just saying.
No, I know, but here's where I kind of
Yeah, you're right.
I jump off the boat a little bit with this.
He said it's broken clock's right twice a day, all right, James?
Yeah,
Don't throw that.
that's what I was thinking when I watched the show. When Joe was like, "I was right again," I was like, "Broken clock's right twice a day, Joe. Don't worry about it." I like, "Don't worry, Joe. You have one more time to be right this season, and that's it. Then you're done." But getting back to this defense, and I want to touch on this. I told you guys all before the season, I am not confident in this defensive coordinator. He does not know. And a buddy told me something I did not know last week, and when I heard this, I almost wanted to, throw up.
Uh-oh.
He's like, there was something asked to Gannon in a press conference, and correct me if I'm wrong, but
You're wrong.
This is what my friend said to me. Is
Preemptively just telling you.
they asked him, so what is your scheme going into the Denver game for how to attack Teddy Bridgewater? He's like, well, I really don't have a scheme. We don't really go into every week with a scheme. What the hell are you talking about? You don't have a defensive scheme.
Gotta have something.
Right. What the hell? So my buddy is like, so how did the interview process go for this guy?
No,
So
there was
what do
no
you-
interview process. You understand there was no interview process for Gannon, right? Gannon, listen, I'm just saying, I'm pointing this out there. Gannon's was the new shiny toy, okay? Just like Chip Kelly was the year we got him, okay? He was the new shiny toy. He was on everybody's list, Christmas list for, the next up-and-come young defensive coach, right? And because Sirianni came in, gave him whatever type of interview that, made them happy. Part of it was probably like, I can get Nick Gannon. I can get John Gannon here. I can get him here. I think that's exactly what happened, and they got him here. And I don't think there was ever really much of an interview process for him. They just wanted him, and they got him.
Right.
Well, that's a bonehead decision. If that's the case, that's a bonehead decision. Because honestly, I agree with my buddy. He's like, so how did the interview process go? So, sir, what is your defensive scheme normally? Normally, it's wide 9, 3-4, 4-3, cover 2, Tampa 2, this split wing, stuff like that. There's different schemes. You're going to walk in there and go, I don't have a scheme. Okay, you got the job. No problem. Okay. That just scares me.
Listen, my thing is I'm not sold on Gannon any which way.
Whoa.
In interview process and all. I'm not saying he's not a bonehead for saying that, but
How old is this guy?
I think some of it's also.
They're all young. They're all in their 40s.
Yeah, I mean,
He's young.
I think they're all the mid range is my age at 38, somewhere around that. That's the average age, but
Wow.
outside of Stoutland.
Anybody calling in, Joe? Al?
Yeah, no, guys, I'm just going to throw it out there. Look at the goddamn ticker on the bottom of the screen,
Yes.
484-257-9592. Call in a chance to win tickets to tomorrow's tailgate for Eagles Saints
Call
at
in.
the Navy Yard,
Let's hear ya.
at the Boathouse. Just call in 484-257-9592.
Listen,
Very easy.
are you
go.
a Birds fan? Do you want to go get a little
Free
bit?
booze and food and
Yeah.
hang out and
Can't
enjoy.
beat that.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
Filet
97.5.
mignon sandwiches.
Filet
Yeah.
mignon.
Dude, I was all James is thinking about. I was like, somebody said filet mignon sandwiches.
Like,
I feel like he's gonna walk in I was promised filet mignon sandwiches.
I mean, right now, Rasmus is not the Russellline. It's not the fish thing on his mouth.
Yeah.
It's filet mignon sandwiches. He's like, Russellline could go to hell, man. I want filet mignon. I'm just like, all
You
right.
want that filet mignon? You better call in.
Yeah, call in.
Come on, man.
Come on, everybody.
Hold on, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's Frank. How you doing?
Hey,
boys?
Frankie, what's going on, bud? All right, Frank, you're
How
gonna
are you?
you're gonna get the first chance here to win 2 tailgate tickets, courtesy of Philly Sports Trips down at the Navy Yard at the Boathouse. So if you're gonna go down the game, this is perfect for you because it's 2 seconds away from the stadium. So here we go. I'm gonna-
Yeah, Al, I'm kind of not qualified. I'm one of the guys.
That's
that-
Mr.
well,
Fitting in.
I'm gonna give you a chance anyway. All right. If somebody else
All right,
calls
good.
in, I'll let them get a chance. But if not, you will be our winner today. All right.
Hey, Joe. The Gannon's calling card was Tampa 2.
I don't. If
that
that's
was his claim.
if that's his calling card, he needs to get a new calling card because he's
Yeah,
not
well,
even
he-
running
I
a
think
Tampa
he
2.
needs- He needs to go to a new phone store. 'Cause That calling card ain't working.
Yeah, right. He bought it off the street from some guy who also sold him a Rolex.
I got a bridge I can
Peyton's a
sell
way
you.
better coach than Nick Sirianni. He's gonna, if it's come down to out coaching, Peyton's gonna kill him.
Well, I was going to say, if it just comes down to coaching, yeah, he's done. But players play the
he's
game.
done.
All right, here's your question. You ready?
Go ahead.
Nothing crazy here, but here we go. Who were the two pitchers that threw the final pitch of the Phillies' 2 World Series championships? I'll give you multiple choice, or you feel confident in this?
I think he knows.
It's Tug McGraw and it's Brad Lidge.
There you go. So you are right now. If somebody else will give you a chance. Frank's going to be fair. He's going to give you a chance. If you guys still want to call in, 484-257-9592, he'll give up his tickets. But if not, Frank, you are a winner today.
Yeah, I would absolutely give him up. Give him up. I mean, I'm a regular in there, so.
That's not something to boast about, Frank. Have you met Dave? I mean, I'm just saying.
Dave knows me well.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing with you, Frank. All right.
What's up, Frank? How you doing, man?
How you doing, Dave?
I'm good, man. What's going on?
Sucks, Dave.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Frank. Thanks, bud.
All right, thanks.
All right, there you go. Guys, you still have a chance, but
Call in.
right now,
Hey,
Frank
call
takes the
in. You
tickets.
still got a shot.
484-257-9592. Can't beat it.
I'm just saying with this game, so it's pivotal, but at this point, like, and okay, so I'll raise this question because we're talking about the pivotal game in like playoffs. So I'll throw this to you, Al, because I think you brought this up. If this team makes the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keyword.
Keyword. Because I'm not taking anything for granted.
I know you're not.
I don't care how soft the damn schedule is. I'm not taking anything for granted with this team.
You still got to New York twice. So go ahead.
I don't care. I'm
Okay.
not taking anything for
Okay.
granted. But you got Beavis and Butthead that are doing the damn coaching on the sidelines. You can pick which one's which. I don't really care. Anyhow, so I'm gonna throw this to you. So if this team makes the playoffs, do you give this coaching staff and Howie and the whole thing a pass? Like,
I would.
Well, all of a sudden we were like, get him out of here. Like 2 weeks ago, we were like, get Sirianni the hell out of here. Fire Howie, of course, and get Sirianni the hell out of here. If they make the playoffs, does that all vanish?
I think Deloria does. That's just my
It
opinion.
depends on if Laurie is seeing it too. That's the thing that really
I
bothers
don't
me.
know what Laurie sees anymore. I just
Yeah,
I don't,
I don't
get it.
either,
I
honestly.
just don't get it.
I think he sees a
mean,
fantasy football team. That's
that-
what he
is
sees.
that- what he's saying?
I think he sees analytics coming in his son's blood, and he's going to be taking over whenever Laurie
I
retires.
got you.
So, Al, do you see this as do you give this organization a pass if they make the playoffs?
Hold on, we got a call here.
Okay.
All right, we have to hold on to
Okay.
that real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, caller, you're on the line. And what's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Waldo from Dallas, Texas.
Waldo from Dallas, Texas.
Really?
All right, Waldo.
I've been following that Cowboy Dave. He don't even know anything about the Cowboys. I don't even know what to listen for anymore. I've been trying to get some information.
Okay, Waldo. What are you trying to tell me here?
I did do. Is this Jalen Hurts? He's from Oklahoma. You watch him at Oklahoma?
Yeah, I know he's from Oklahoma. I get it.
Why are you dissing on our baller? He's a Texan from
I think it's Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones is using a fake name here to call your cowboy fandom your cowboy fandom out.
This is Waldo. This is Waldo. All my friends. We do Where's Waldo? We played the game my whole life.
Okay.
You know
My
what
name-
the
my name's
you know what the
Waldo,
Dallas
sir.
Cowboys play? They play Where's the Super Bowl? That's what they play.
Okay.
Hey, Waldo, do you actually live in Dallas, or do you want to win some tickets?
I got a ton of VHS tapes from the 1990s and from the 70s, the 80s against the Steelers. Don't you be saying stuff like that just because you got a Super Bowl recently.
Yeah, we have ours on DVD. You guys have it on
You see, this December, we're finally going to win this December. I'll tell
Man,
you.
how many times a Cowboys fan said this to me?
Yeah, too bad that the Super Bowl is played in February. So you can win in December, you still have to win in February. But that's a typical Cowboy fan. You're still
Okay.
delayed. I mean, dial up, Dave. We already know.
That's right, Waldo.
You all right,
We're
Waldo?
gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right.
I guess
don't
Waldo
know.
doesn't want to win those
This
tailgate
Jalen
tickets.
Hurts, he reminds me of that Dak Prescott. when his first year.
Yeah, but Dak was 13-3 his first year.
Oh, we're not talking about records. We're talking, you watch the game. If you watch the game, it's the same way. He's managing the game and getting better week to week. I just hope Dak can stay healthy and not get hurt anymore, because the Eagles, I can't deal with them having another quarterback. They just keep getting these quarterbacks. I don't know where they're coming from.
Well, we are a quarterback factory.
I'm going to get
that
into
is
that.
true. They are a quarterback factory.
I'm going to get into you in a minute with that, Al. Go ahead.
So how do I win these tickets?
Well, Waldo, you got to be in South Philly. Are you going to be able to get from Dallas to South Philly?
Oh, I thought it was tickets to. Oh, I'm confused.
Yeah,
we are Cowboys
Okay,
fans, so that tends to happen.
Oh, Al, leave it alone.
I enjoy the show. You have a good one, all right?
All right, Waldo, thanks. All right, you guys got your first character call in there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's called popping your cherry on a radio show right there. TK wasn't even here for it.
Talking to Cowboy fit and all, man. What's up with that?
They're still looking for the Super Bowl.
Well, guys, the tickets
Lord.
are still on the table because Waldo can't be in town for the tickets. So
He's
What?
I don't know if Waldo was on this
Waldo
planet.
talking me, man. What's the deal?
Yeah.
I should have talked to them about the Dallas Stars. 99 and 99.
That was funny.
geez.
Waldo, thank you.
man.
Waldo, you know.
All right, so still calling, folks.
Yeah,
Food and booze
It's
before
still
the
there.
Eagles game. It's
Come
still
on now.
there.
Call in.
It was still there.
I'm gonna go at you, Al. I got a gripe with you when it comes
Uh-oh.
down to you saying that the Eagles are.
You
the
know I
only-
was being sarcastic.
No,
when
I
said
understand that,
All right.
but you realize that the Eagles aren't the only quarterback factory in the NFL.
Oh no.
No.
And who would that be, Joe?
Who would
Well,
that be?
I mean, think about it. The majority of teams are quarterback factories. Look at with Drew Rosen and Kyler Murray.
I can see the Cleveland Browns being a
Wait,
quarterback.
whoa,
factory.
whoa,
I mean,
hang on a sec.
That was a long. Yeah.
Say that again?
With Drew Rosen and Kyler Murray. They had Drew Rosen, drafted Drew Rosen 3 years prior, and then they drafted
Yeah, but Kyler
Murray.
Murry's a stud.
No, I understand, but
This
they
is
thought
true.
Drew Rosen was
What's Drew
gonna be the-
Rosen doing right now?
He's mopping
Drew Rosen
up.
now? So you're thinking
No,
of Josh Rosen?
Josh Rosen.
Josh.
So
I was gonna say.
they
Drew
drafted Josh Rosen thinking he was going to be the stud, and then they're
Right.
like, "Okay, you're not. We're not even going to trade you yet. We're going to draft this guy, and then we're going to trade you later in the draft." This guy got his walking papers before he even got his walking papers.
I can see Cleveland as a quarterback.
You
factory.
have-
Is it?
No, well, see, the
No,
point is
I say
there's one thing to
like-
say you quarterback turnstile maybe
Okay.
versus
Right.
a quarterback factory, which still you only had one guy dumb enough to say it out loud. And
And I got another example: Kansas City Chiefs with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes.
well, let's think about how long has Andy Reid been there?
Been where?
7 years.
Kansas City?
7 years, yeah.
7, 8 years, I think it is.
All right, so think
Has-
about it. He's
has-
had two quarterbacks.
Has it been
Yeah.
7?
How's
Yeah.
that a quarterback
It's been
factory?
a long time.
And he inherited Alex Smith, didn't he? He was there when he got
No,
there.
he asked for Alex Smith. He
Wasn't
requested it.
he? But wasn't he there? Was he
He
there the
No.
year before he started?
I don't think he was
No.
there. No,
Okay.
I don't think he was there.
He came over. It was a
was
big
in the- he was
deal.
there before.
I
Help
think the
ball.
Dolphins are a quarterback
He-
factory, too.
That's not a
Yeah.
factory. That's a turnstile. There is a
Oh, okay,
major
my bad.
difference.
My bad, my fault.
But the term, first part, nobody's a quarterback factory. Actually, you want? I'll give you a quarterback.
you have to come out
no,
with
no,
a
no,
good
no. I'll
product to
give
be
you
a
a quarterback
factory?
factory. You ready?
go,
Ready?
go.
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Good point.
How do you go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers?
Right.
Now, granted, that's two quarterbacks over a long period of time, but how many people are able to get two franchise quarterbacks who lasted as long as they did and have the NFL pedigree they have back to back? That, to me, is your closest thing to a quarterback. A quarterback factory should not be churning out quarterback after quarterback, per se.
Right.
A quarterback factory should be finding a franchise quarterback who can win them Super Bowls and continue to win for them. So,
Unfortunately, I'm going to throw another example out.
Yes, sir.
Dallas Cowboys.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
yeah, but that was in 1907. I mean,
Yeah.
you
No,
look
no,
at-
no, 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 no.
You know,
Tony Romo to Dak Prescott.
Okay.
So
yeah.
it was kind of like one into the other. I mean, I don't even recall. I mean, I don't even think any Dallas Cowboy recalls who was before Tony Romo.
That would be Quincy Carter, maybe?
Yeah, he doesn't matter.
And just a reminder, guys, you can still call in and win the tickets 484-257-9592.
Call in, guys. We want to hear you now.
So, but I'm going to go back to what I said in a minute ago.
No, actually, I wasn't. I said it was Drew Bledsoe. My fault. Sorry.
Oh, Well, he knows how to be
Drew
replaced.
Bledsoe. How about that?
If there's any quarterback in the NFL that knows how to get replaced,
It was Drew.
it's Drew Bledsoe.
Yes.
Anyhow, so my thing is with a factory, doesn't the factory eventually have to come out with a good product?
Yeah, well, I mean, unless you're a factory that puts out shit products, like, a dollar store factory, ones that makes out, like, half-ass products, guys that last 3 years tops and then move on. I mean, but that's not, to me, in the NFL, it's the opposite of what you want. That's a turnstile. That's just somebody they keep bringing somebody in. I mean, Cleveland is the best example of that.
I think so.
Is
I would
of a
say.
quarterback turnstile.
Right.
I mean, and coaching. Head coach turnstile, too. But, I mean, ultimately, a quarterback, to me, if you're thinking a quarterback factory, you're thinking somebody who's churning out high-quality quarterbacks, and so it should be less, not more.
Right.
And I think Green Bay is the most recent example.
But how can we call us a quarterback factory when
We can't.
Okay,
Because
all
only a
right.
moron could say that.
Okay.
And his name is Howie Roseman.
Okay.
And no matter what happens at the end of all this, and I'm going to die on this platform because I know how this fan base just kind of ebbs and flows and changes with it.
Right.
I am not changing my stance. Howie Roseman must go.
You keep saying
Absolutely.
He must go.
And like here,
And it will be an atrocity
Dude,
that if we have three
so
first-round picks.
You wanted to fire Kyle on Thursday
There-
night because he
there
was defending
was-
him to the.
Yeah,
I saw that. I saw that.
I don't
You're
always,
fired.
I don't always agree with this guy, but Joe DeCameron said, like, stuck up for Howie Roseman, was like, but he's the only GM that won us a Super Bowl. He wasn't the only guy in the room, guy. Like, listen, Joe Douglas was in the room.
But what did he
got a
do
job.
after that Super Bowl?
Nothing.
Well,
No. But no, he tore it apart. Like, yes, we were able to inch our way into playoffs 3 or 4 years since the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give him some credit there. But that's not him. That was Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz doing a good job of what they do. They had nobody on that team. Now, a lot of that was injury, but a lot of those guys who came up from the practice squad would have never seen the light of day if it wasn't for those injuries.
Right.
And keep in mind of something, like usually GMs are predicated, especially in Super Bowl championship years, of guys they bring in either during the year or right before the season. What was Howie's big coup of a player he brought in? Jay Ajayi? Like, that, okay. Like, good for you. You got a
Cartilage
running back.
optional, as I call him.
You got a running back that the Dolphins didn't want anymore.
Yeah.
That they considered poison in the locker room. As you said it, the Dolphins. Not like, some high-ranking Alvin Kamara kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins were like, he's poison. You guys
it's
are
not even
already
just he's
losing.
poison. They're a team going absolutely nowhere.
Right.
And they knew what they got for him. They knew exactly what it was. This is going to be a one and done or 2 years tops type thing. He had more knee surgeries than 10 people do in a lifetime. And he had little to no cartilage. That was for the now. We needed a punch now.
Right.
And that's what they did. And listen, but ever since then, he's not so here's my thing is, he's the one making the final decisions. He is not a talent evaluator. End all be all. Everybody's like stroking him now. Oh, look what he's did so far since the draft. Okay, well, the first part of the draft, sorry, but let's see. You picked the Heisman Trophy winner.
Mm-hmm. First time since the 40s.
Well, no,
Good
it's not
for
even
you.
just that. From Alabama for the
Yeah.
first time in like
Low-hanging
30
fruit.
years. Oh, if you didn't do it, you're an idiot.
Right.
The fact that you did it, that's the simplest thing.
It's low-hanging fruit. It really is.
It's like, if I'm on fire, do I dump water or gasoline on myself? Gee, let me think. I mean, it makes zero sense to sit there and tell him, oh, well, and then he goes and gets a guy who would have been a first rounder in the second round because outside of his injuries.
Right.
And he's panning out so far.
Well, I think-
so far.
I think the Devontae Smith move was nice.
It
No, it
but it
was.
was a no-brainer.
Well, I get it, but I'm just saying it was.
I'll tell you right now. I'll be honest with you. If some of those other guys that he wanted were there in front of him, and it was between Devontae Smith and somebody else, Howie would have picked the wrong guy. Now it's just me being an asshole.
Okay.
But I have this feeling that he would do that.
Okay.
Howie is not the right guy for the job anymore. And somebody here, I think it was Billy Covington. Billy, I don't know why you haven't called in yet.
Yeah.
44-257-9592.
Come on, guys, call in.
Do you think Howie will ever be fired, and who will fire him? Not unless we pour gasoline on this guy and he is literally set on fire. I don't know why. Is it the safety blanket? Does Jeff Lurie so full of himself that he thinks, and I think Jeff Louis is afraid if he bring anybody else in, they're gonna be like.
I think he's so comfortable with Howie. It doesn't really matter what Howie does.
Well, you need a yes man.
Come on, guys, call me. We want to hear you.
You need a guy who, in Jeffrey's mind, is a yes man, and Howie's the perfect person because if Jeffrey's like, I want this guy, Howie's like, all right, I'll make it work. I'll make it happen. Okay, no problem. I want this money for this guy. Okay, I can make that work. I can make that happen.
Right.
And like, here's the thing. You can I agree with what Al's saying about Devontae, but like you go a year prior and now look at like what Jalen Reagor is. Like you could have gotten
Justin Jefferson was sitting right there.
Right.
He was.
So
He
you
was.
sit here.
I was shocked that you guys didn't take that. I saw that
And
coming.
I defended Reagor. I'm not going to say that. I know there's tape.
I listened to the show. I heard you and both Fred defend Reagor.
I thought for sure they were going to pick Justin Jefferson.
Honestly, I was like more upset at the fact that these people like were hyping this guy up, and I'm like, okay, but Justin Jefferson is a stud,
No doubt.
and you're just like, that's like having and we did.
Hold on, guys. Here we go.
Phone call. Nice.
All right, you're on the line. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Big Al, Mike Fuji.
Hey, Mike, what's going on? You want to try to win these tickets? Come on, man. You going down the game? Are you going to the game?
No, I got my show to do.
Okay. All right. What's going on, buddy?
Good. Just calling about Howie. I agree with you.
Yeah, he's got to go.
Guys,
I mean, it's just simple. He's got to go.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. You're the caller.
The guy's good on his trades. The guy's good on his free agent signings, but he just can't draft.
Yeah, you give him, like, the post-draft calls. I'll let him have that. He can do the undrafted free agent stuff.
Hold up.
Yeah.
He's not a good free agent pickup. He picked up Deshaun Jackson.
No. I'm saying I said his undrafted free agents.
Oh, okay.
Still looking for a job, by the way, Joey.
Yeah.
D-Jack.
Derek Barnett looks like a bust.
He definitely isn't what it turned out to be. But do you know what? Here's my thing. Is there's certain once again, I'll play devil's advocate. There are certain guys I can go back and say I can't blame him.
Can he be fixed?
Who?
I mean, Derek Barnett.
No.
It can be, but
I mean,
it's too
brain
much to
fixes are a lot the hardest fixes.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the hardest
I mean,
thing.
it just seems to me like he's such a big man, and every time I turn around, he's off sides.
Two words: shock treatment.
But that can't be fixed, though, can
Or
it?
roughing the passer.
Well, it can't be
Well, the
fixed,
roughing
though.
the passer thing is.
Put like a
Well, yeah.
put like
I
one
got
of
you.
those electric collars on him that you put like on your dog, the electric fence. Anytime he goes near the quarterback, zap. There you go. You won't hit the quarterback.
Hey, Mike, what time's your show tomorrow?
11:30.
All right, tell everybody where they can listen to it at.
Broad Street South.
That's right.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the media outlets.
You got an 11:30 pregame show right there.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thanks
brother.
for putting us out there.
Anything else you want to say before we let you go?
One more time.
Anything else you want to say before we let you go?
Wanted to say, what's up, guys? Great show, as always. We all got to do something, you guys and me, Angel, and the crew of Broad Street South.
Can't
And
wait,
go
man.
Birds.
Definitely. Go Birds. Thanks,
Go
brother.
Birds, brother.
All right.
Good luck to your show tomorrow.
So, sorry, you threw me off. But yeah, no. How? Like I said, if we go into this postseason with 3 first-round picks, and he's at the helm, I mean, unless
But is it not low hanging fruit? Also, still, if he has 3 good first round picks, and if you make the playoffs, you'll have 1 bad one, obviously. But here's the thing: everyone's saying this, and I feel like it's common sense, but it's Howie, so he doesn't, judge by common sense. He doesn't think with common sense.
Right.
The 3 first round picks should primarily be on defense, because if you can build that defense up with that first round. Then you can use the rest of the draft to kind of bring in offensive linemen.
Joey, you need linebackers is what you need.
Well, I've been preaching that for 3 years now.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing: is if you have 3 first-round picks, you should at least get one in the second round.
At least get a linebacker.
In the second round, you should be able to go. All right, do you want? We finally go get a linebacker in the second round,
Yeah.
or get one of the further later first-round picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm okay
at
with
this
that.
time, it's like it's a no-brainer,
Right.
Right.
Sure.
Like,
It is.
I hate to say this, but take out of Dallas's book, go all defenses first.
Well, that's what they
Right.
did. That's what we did.
Right.
Yep.
And I mean, just do that, and in one foul swoop, you can replace a lot of empty spots.
And make up for a lot of bad things.
One
defense.
draft, if you hit well enough, like if you get the 3 first rounders, you get a stud, a star, and maybe a good player.
Yeah,
it's a win.
It's
a win.
Are you guys still surprised that Carson's still on his feet here?
No.
He's doing
No.
I actually said I thought he was going to do good when he goes Indy.
Did you?
I felt that this place wasn't right for Carson, and people, we see it now. People want to like burn Jalen Hurts at the stake after half a season.
Right.
I mean, like, come on, man. Like,
but
we are our own worst enemies at times.
I'm saying
Listen.
I'm saying like injury wise. Are you guys surprised he's still standing?
I am a little surprised in a way because it's Sherman Wentz, so I understand. So I understand he's softer than tissue paper.
Man.
Come on, guys, call in. We want to hear you now.
I mean,
man.
listen, a guy who breaks both ankles or does something to both ankles in one play by
You're just
walking.
jealous. You can't pull that off.
Give me time. I can't see it. Give me time.
Give him time.
But here's the thing: is I said this in the very beginning, especially with your boy Freddie, because Freddie. So funny story, and Fred, I'm gonna put you on blast. I don't mean to, but I'm gonna do it anyhow.
Look out, Freddie! He's coming after you.
So we're coming back from the Yankees trip, and we're on the bus, and you were there, Al. I was sitting in front of you with Fred, and we're watching the 2017 year.
Yeah.
And Fred just half hit in the ass. Turns to me, he's like,
Only half? It must have been later in the bus ride.
Well, probably fully hit in the ass. I don't know. But he's like turning to me, he's like, fucking Eagles fans, we're gonna ruin this. We're gonna look at he's gonna destroy us. I'm like, no, he's not. And I'm like, how is he gonna destroy us? He's in the AFC, so he's not gonna touch us. B, he's in the AFC. He's not gonna touch the playoffs. I'm like, that's like the hardest.
I think they make the playoffs.
I think they might get in.
That AFC is so competitive that I just
Who in the AFC right now scares you?
Tennessee.
Like, remember, there's
Tennessee.
3 wild cards.
Tennessee is the squad.
Oh, but they'll win their division. So, but I'm
Don't
talking about
fall
wild
asleep on
card.
New England
wild
either.
card.
Wild card.
Oh, wow.
3. Might I add?
Well, look, I still think the Chiefs are underperforming. I think they are still a good team. I still think they're a good team. So my feeling is, as long as they get into the playoffs, they could destroy anybody in the playoffs. I mean, it doesn't matter.
So you're
I'm still scared of the Chiefs.
right now. Your top, if the playoffs were to happen tomorrow,
Okay.
your 5, 6, and 7 spots in the AFC are the Pats, the Steelers, and the Chargers.
I think the Patriots are a team to watch, Al. I do, because Mac Jones is playing really well.
Well, keep in mind, with the Patriots, and I said this when they drafted Mac Jones, he's not a Tom Brady, but he can fit into the Bill Belichick system perfectly. Perfectly. This is his system, Mac Jones kind of system.
Frank just texted and he said, guys, let Al know that I can't use the tickets. Helping my daughter move this weekend.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, the tickets are still available.
Yeah, call in.
Hey,
but
tickets are still available. Come on, guys.
So here's the
I got
thing.
about 15, 20 minutes left for the show ends. Real simple. Free tickets, $150 value right there.
So
There you go.
keep in mind,
even if you're not going to the game, you can still go and have a good time and
Sure.
get back to watching the
There
game.
you go.
with this AFC, I just don't see the Colts winning, and I don't.
All right, we'll put it this way. On the bubble, the Colts are there at number 10, but 8, 9, and 10 are 5 and 4, and they're 5 and 5. And it's the Raiders who are slowly falling apart. The Bengals who are having a good,
They're
better.
They're up and down.
Yeah, they're still young and they're learning. I mean, that's why I'm not. They really came out to a hot start, but they're beatable. The Chargers are an up and down, and they're at 5 and 4.
Right.
I mean, the Steelers. Come on, man. The Steelers suck.
You can't count Big Ben out, though.
I'll count him out.
Okay.
He is not making the playoffs. The Colts will be in the playoffs before the Steelers. I'm going to say it right now.
I disagree with that, but
Okay.
okay.
All right. Well, that's why
You got Tomlin, who knows how to make it into the tourney. So,
Yeah, he's.
and you got Frank Wright and Carson Wentz. That, in my mind, they thought this was a match made in heaven, and would
But
they failed to.
I still say the Patriots are a team to watch.
listen, there was some growing pains. He had some hiccup injuries in the beginning. but-
growing pains. The guy broke 2 ankles. How many
But
more growing
my
pains
point
do you
is,
need to deal with?
in the beginning he made. Listen, Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz. He's not perfect in any which way, and he makes. I call him Carson Wentz type mistakes, like that one game where he flicked the ball to the guy right in the end zone. Like, it was just stupid.
They called that the worst play in the NFL this season.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did. They
But
called it the worst play in the
My
NFL
point
this
is,
season.
he's gotten better. He has the stats to show it. I think they're only getting better, and they're beating good teams and they're beating bad teams. So I mean, that's what good.
So
I'm not saying they're going to say they're going to win the Super Bowl any which
Up and
way.
down, up and down.
I'm not going to say they're winning the Super Bowl any which way, but they'll make the playoffs.
Well, you said any given
I think so,
Sunday.
too.
Yeah, especially with a seven with three wild card teams.
two
Right.
things. Number
Is,
one,
is Green Bay for real, Al? 8-2. Are they for real?
I mean, with Aaron Rodgers and
Aaron Rodgers'
and,
farewell tour. Yeah, I mean it's his farewell tour
and
in Green Bay.
I mean-
they have a stingy defense, so yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I mean, Green Bay is, but they always seem to get to the front door of the dance, but never seem to
Right. Oh,
ever.
And
yeah.
right.
Don't be surprised if Aaron
And
Rodgers.
that's one of the reasons I don't disagree with Green Bay or Aaron Rodgers for being upset with Green Bay, because they just, they never seem to put the right stuff around him for certain areas.
He begged back
Ty Cobb.
Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
Ty Cobb. Randall
Ty
Cobb.
Cobb.
Yeah, Ty Cobb.
Bob
It
Cobb.
rose into
The
it.
maestro.
Rose up from the dead.
He dug him
Bob
up.
Cobb.
All right,
the
so two
maestro.
things. Number one, everybody call in the ticker. Call in for free tickets. For,
Come on now.
Tailgate. Number two, I'm going to, because I've kind of had this pent up frustration, I'm going to transition us to the Sixers.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Before you do that, I gotta step one thing up. We need to do some picks.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's start with you, James. Eagles Saints, knowing what the injury report looks like, knowing how the Eagles have been playing. I mean, the Saints, they gave the Titans a run for their money. It was a 3-point swing. They lost to the Falcons, which was, that's divisional team, can happen, but whatever. Will they lose 3 in a row? Will the Eagles finally get their first win in South Philly since last year, as Dave pointed out?
Sorry.
And what is your final score?
I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out tomorrow, but that Titans game with the Saints game was like a close game, so I'm going to say it's going to be 24-21 Saints.
So you're going to give the edge to the Saints.
Once again, like last year, James, wrong.
You're wrong again, James.
Poor James.
Well, if Brandon Graham was there, I'm probably the new Derek Gunn.
Our boy,
I told you.
our boy Billy Covington saying Eagles 33, Saints 17.
Ooh. Joey?
Well, he's got a lot of confidence in our offense.
It's too much excitement.
I'm gonna say the Eagles 24, Saints 17, and I think it's going to be a defensive touchdown that wins it.
Oh, wow.
So.
Looking at me. James, it's kind of funny. I have the same score, but I have the opposite team. I think the Eagles win.
Oh.
I think the Eagles win 24-21.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know what like I said, I still don't know what their identity is yet.
Yep.
I still think you're a closet Saints fan.
I don't think he's a closet Saints fan.
Well, I was Drew Brees fan for
Okay.
a split second, maybe.
I'm close to with the Eagles win on this one. It's going to be close. I think it'll make more like 27-21, but within the same realm as you guys.
Right.
It's not going to be a, like I said, anything can happen, but I just don't feel it's going to be a blowout. I mean, I was dead wrong about the Broncos game. So don't bet on my behalf. Trust me.
Okay.
And if you're just so you know, actually,
Wait a minute. Don't you guys have a former player coming back tomorrow? Is that my imagination?
Malcolm Jenkins.
Malcolm Jenkins. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
I heard something on Sports Talk. I would not hate if they did.
Can Malcolm Jenkins make a difference in this game, Joey?
Run a replay on the big screen of him flipping off Sean Payton. When he was in
Ah.
I love that thought. I
Yeah.
love that. Just run it on repeat.
Mike, and a real quick question. Mike Fuji actually asked early on the prompter here. He said, "Who's the odd man out in the running back room
For the Eagles,
if Miles Sanders is back?"
that'd be Gainwell, wouldn't it?
I would imagine.
Boston
So here's
Scott.
this whole running back fiasco has been. We make a joke on my show about if you want to know who's not going to do well, see who I'm starting in my fantasy football.
I
Talk
heard
about
that.
quarterback factory. You
I
got,
heard that.
you got a running back factory
I
too.
heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
just
I
saying.
Miles Sanders. I started him. I drafted him at the beginning of the season, and he got hurt. So he picked up Kenny Gainwell. Figured they just seemed like they were really loving him. They were high on him.
And we know how you feel
And then
about Boston.
as soon as they brought up Boston Scott and
Your favorite
And
running
Jordan
back, by the way.
Howard. Yeah.
I've heard
Jor-
you. I've heard
and
you
Jordan
on
Howard.
Boston Scott.
and Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
They start playing them a lot.
Right.
And
And
think about
Kenny Gainwell goes to the win.
Right.
Jordan
I mean-
Howard, who was once upon a time 1,000-yard rusher,
He was
put on the practice squad and then plucked back from obscurity because of Miles Sanders. So if you're an organization, you're like, "We're sorry. Can you please come up and run really hard?"
Didn't you bring him back though?
Yeah, we brought him back,
I
but
thought-
then we put him on the practice squad.
Right, I saw that.
I'm like, that's a little bit of a slap in the face. But
Come on, guys, call
I
in.
would imagine Kenny Gainwell would be your odd man out as of right now.
I think Boston
I would think
Scott.
so.
I
would
I mean, I think you're going to limit Miles Sanders, like you maybe like 10 carries at most, and
Do you
even
think
that,
that's how many he's going to get tomorrow?
at most.
Because I think if Miles comes back, they have schemes for both Miles and.
So-
Yeah, but also he's coming back. You're not going to want to hurt him either.
So
if you have
as-
two guys who are doing the job,
I mean, so as we know, that the Saints are good, very good defense against the run.
Yeah.
Okay, we've established that, right?
Yeah, but they were
Okay.
also number one defense last year.
doesn't mean you don't run the ball though.
That's what I'm saying. Do you keep running the ball until it just
I think
dies?
I think you pound Jordan Howard.
The answer?
Let
yes.
him bruise them up. Let him. I mean, listen, it's just football 101.
Right.
If you have a good defensive line in front of you, you run the ball occasionally just to off tackle stuff, things like that.
Right.
But you also want to beat up those defensive tackles and defensive ends because if you get hit by a guy like Jordan Howard, not Boston Scott,
Yeah.
you're gonna, it's gonna wear you down throughout the game. It'll pay dividends later in the game.
You're going to get hit by Boston Scott.
And then Boston Scott will get a chance to sit there and dance. Like, oh, look at Boston Scott did so much better. No, because you're pounding the ball and smashing him in the face with a big bruiser guy like Jordan Howard.
And you mentioned this on your show, Al. And I'm like, me and you preached on draft night. Get a power back, a north-south runner. Ironic that when you get one, you're successful. Who knew
Now,
that was this?
How
Some things do
how things
work.
work, Joey.
some things do work. But Joe, real quick, because I know you wanted to jump into the Sixers, but I just want to mention something.
Come on, guys, call
I
in.
wanted to point this out to you real quick. Who is the number one points leader for the Flyers again? I'm trying to remember.
Let me
Cloud Giroux. Is that what his name is?
Giroux?
Captain Claude.
Captain Claude. You knew I wasn't coming on this show, right? And
I see what you're
not
Joey.
and not taking your stones to the quarry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's doing all right.
He's doing all right.
Doing all right.
Joe, what's
He's
that
all
jersey you have on there?
It's funny. Here's the thing: is you finally get a guys around him that help him be the captain, kind of like you used to say about Ben Simmons.
Ooh.
I'm just putting this out there. I should have brought some fried crow, huh?
Well,
Well, listen, it's still early, God. You know what happens, but I'll just say I had it. Listen, at this point, it was perfect timing for TK to ask me to host the show because I had to roast the Stones.
on that note, please call in and try to win those tickets.
Yeah, guys, still tickets available, and I believe Marks and Stones are up for auction. as well.
yes, seriously. Jesus Christ. Look, and when I saw that, or heard that he got the game-tying goal the other night with Tampa Bay with 10 seconds left, I'm like, oh, I'm never going to hear the end of this now, am I? I'm like, okay.
That's
But-
twice this season. He's at the last moment, and they only play 15 games.
Yep.
Twice in 15 games, he's got the game-tying score.
So is the captain stepping up, Joey? Is he
Bringing
stepping
not
up?
just points to his, not just points to his stat line, but points to the Flyers team as well.
Correct. I won't disagree. I never said he was a
Fucking
bad.
shootout. Sorry, I dropped the F-bomb.
I know,
Fucking
I-
shootouts.
I can't stand
The skill portion of our game. Welcome. But
It's been like that for 10, 11 years.
and they need to get rid of it.
I
And
think-
they
yeah.
need to do away with something that has nothing to do with a game. It's a skills competition.
Right.
It's but to go back on Claude, I never ever said that I question his skill. I just question his leadership. And
Well, he's leading.
Yes,
He's got leaders
and-
around.
and I agree
listen,
with that.
A lot
I
of these
agree with
guys
that.
around him are former leaders. So
Correct.
he's leading leaders. He's the leader of leaders.
I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
We got a lot of
I saw
guys
that.
had former season A's on their chest coming into this new
I
Flyers
agree.
regime.
I agree.
There's got to be somebody who wants these tickets, man. Come on, call in. I want to hear you.
Yeah, right behind him at 13 points is Couturier, Atkinson at 9, and Konechny at 9, just so for you guys who are wondering who the other three behind were.
Konechny.
Konechny's
I
at 9.
didn't know Connecting had the.
Yeah,
like,
he's got a
points.
couple goals. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
How's JVR doing these days?
It's further down the line.
He's further down, and I agree with what Al said about.
I'm a JVR guy.
About why am I blanking on his name? The guy that you wrote an article about.
Which one?
The flyer that recovered from cancer.
Oh, Lindblom.
Oh, Limbaugh.
Oh, Lindbergh. Okay.
I like.
I didn't write the article. That was our boy Matt, newcomer to the show,
Yeah.
or to the network.
So I mean, here's my thing.
There's a newcomer to the network.
Yeah,
Might be.
and
He's trying it out, see what he likes.
Really?
Like I agree. Like I expected
I
more
like
out
that.
of Oscar.
So I'm not the rookie anymore.
Yeah.
He's not like, listen, he wrote a good article if you read it, and some people, like, you read the headlines, are like, oh, listen, he said my first article might be a bit taboo because of Oscar Lindblom's cancer history, and like he is an inspirational player and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But
You still have to perform.
the point is
Yeah.
now not that part is over, not to underplay it, but it's now you're a player on a team, like,
Yeah.
and he is just not performing as well. And he's not saying he needs to go, but something needs to change, either like where he's at and who he's working with,
Yeah.
or just like how he's being used right now isn't the best. That's the best way I can sum up that article. Check it out at eopsports.com, and it's all on our social media as well.
Yes.
And so
And call in for those tickets.
to transition,
Yeah.
to,
Call in.
484-257-9592 and call in for tickets, guys. Not some
Free
Dallas
tickets
Waldo.
for
Free
food.
Free
tickets.
Flamin' Yon sandwiches.
Free
Come
Flamin'
on.
Yon,
If not, it
free
sounds
food.
like James will be taking these tickets if
I
you
think
guys.
I'm gonna
I
take
think-
them
I
just
think
to
James gonna
just
get
a
'em.
feast of Flamin' Yon.
Dude, I want
He's-
pictures of that flaming yon sandwich and like you biting it out. Like seriously.
If you
Like,
take me, I'll take the pictures of it. I'll go in there.
we are.
I'll do a
we're-
food review.
we're- hey, seriously, when the next Pattison Ave Phanatics episode, there'll be a food review by James Gordon. I give it 5 stars.
We'll have it on video too.
Oh, man. But to transition, because I'm going to go into the Ben Simmons thing, because I've been holding on to this for the better part of 2-3 weeks. So this team has gone through a lot of ebbs and flows.
They have.
And,
Yep.
and,
This is
and
true.
in a couple weeks ago, they were like 8-2 on the top of the world, and they were doing so well that in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm gonna show my age, and as Tom usually says, I'm gonna come out with an old fogey kind of saying, Ben, shit or get off the pot, man. Like, here's the thing: this team.
Why?
Why?
Why should he?
Because first off, you're an albatross on this team.
He don't care. He's getting paid.
Well, he may not care.
Still losing money though.
He might
He's still
not
getting
care.
paid.
Right.
He might not get paid as much as he
Well,
wants to
he's
be
not
or
getting
should
paid,
be.
but he's not getting paid
Losing money-
now.
No.
He's not getting paid now.
There's
The
money
West
game by
Coast
game,
trip.
isn't he?
Well,
Yeah.
no, he didn't make the trip, so he's not getting paid for any of the game checks.
Okay.
For this road trip.
Okay.
But my point is this: I'm not even attacking Ben as a man anymore, because I said here on this show a couple weeks ago that mental situations with depression and anxiety is a serious thing, because I suffer with it myself.
Absolutely.
Right.
I don't take.
And that's why this situation angers me more, because I feel he's using that.
I agree.
As an excuse.
And I said on this show, I
Taking
give him
advantage
the
of it.
benefit of the doubt
Yeah.
because I give anybody benefit of the doubt. Now I don't.
Ooh.
And now you've crossed the line, and a very big line at that, because in my mind, this is, like I said, he's an albatross on this Sixers team.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if he doesn't care. And I get Daryl Morey. People are crucifying Morey, and I'm like, look, he needs to still do what's best for the team.
That's what he's trying to do.
Right. So don't handcuff the guy by saying, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. I want you to get rid of him. But,
We all do.
right.
You
But,
got to wait till a certain time, though, so you have more options.
right. You have to wait until the right window opens up for you.
We're
to
also
take
they're
it.
waiting for that December deadline where guys are more available. Right now, not everybody's available.
Yeah.
We all knew this. Everybody's like, well, they got to make a trade. They got to make a trade. The talks will start heating up closer
Yes.
to that deadline. They already are. They had some list that somebody put out. I don't know if it was Shams or somebody put out one that Harden again was on the list.
Woj.
I did-
Woj put it
Woj,
out. Yeah.
okay. And there was another one.
Well, Harden's on the list. Kyrie Irving's on the list. Who was it? John Wall. Well, he's the same agent. Did you hear this whole situation? That the agent, Rich Paul, is the same agent for John Wall. And he came at Philadelphia 76ers and said, how dare the 76ers strip Ben Simmons of game checks when Houston has no problem paying John Wall? Well, good for freaking Houston. That's not
That's not
here.
our problem.
I don't
Right.
want John Wall, by the way.
No,
Let's
I
not
don't
throw-
either. But like,
No.
you have a lot of these guys, and I agree with you, Al, is the fact that, and I said this before, like I feel like it's gonna be close to the trade deadline, but I also feel like it could happen around Christmas.
I think it would be Christmas. is the very least, but is very likely because they want to unload him, but they want to unload him when those other options are open. And you got to let you got to kind of let the season play out a little bit. That's the thing is, you got to let teams who thought they had a chance.
Right.
Because everybody comes into the season going, oh, we have a chance until you're 2-10.
I thought the Celtics.
Well, I mean, think about it.
I thought the Celtics deal was going to happen, but I didn't.
I didn't want Jaylen Brown.
I
said if the Celtics are going to sell, give me Jason Tatum.
But before you go,
because that rights a wrong that we made.
Time out, Joey. Real quick.
Yeah, that doesn't work out.
Real quick. What I'm seeing is, and I have to give, I'm going to give Doc Rivers credit. You know why? Because that's a first. Right, well, okay, but I know Ben's a headache. I get all that, but he's doing this with around him, and I think he's doing a pretty good job with this, Ben situation. You know what I'm saying? Like he's stepping up as a coach, and like ignoring what Ben is,
Well, that's why I also say
I don't think it's really hard right now because
that's why I'm giving Doc credit.
I don't know. I'm just saying I don't think this team is just so. I want Ben back. Some guys I want Ben. I don't want Ben. I don't think any of them want.
But
Ben.
I think Doc's ignoring it and just coaching. It's not his
and
problem.
actually, he doesn't have to placate to somebody, which is a big difference.
Yeah.
Right.
When you have to sit there and pander and you're our best point guard and pat his little hiney and tell him he's.
But see, Doc's not doing that.
He's everybody's favorite. He doesn't have to do that now.
Right.
This is why
they were doing it.
But he's just coaching and forget like he's not even there.
This is why I say
it's perfect.
Right. That some coaches
he's not going to be there.
But some coaches
it's just easy. There's no reason to add this ingredient that's not going to be there come the end of the season.
But I'm saying some coaches would have issues with that. I think Doc's doing a pretty good job.
He doesn't need to.
And he's doing a good job getting the most out of pretty much bench players right now.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. This is why I kind of said
half the team was on COVID for.
I give credit to Niang and all them for stepping up too.
I basically this is why I say Ben get off the pot.
Right.
Because when we were doing well, I'm like, okay, he thought he had the smart way. I got leverage on the team. I got leverage. They're going to suck without me, and then they have to pay me, and they have to concede to what I want.
You think that's what he's thinking?
That's what I think he was thinking. But when we went 8-2. That's why I'm like, well, Ben, you better should get off the pot because guess what? This team ain't gonna lose.
Actually, it hurt. It's funny when we do good. Actually, kind of hurts us a little bit because now if I'm on another team, like, well, you guys actually did fine without him, so maybe he's not that big of a piece as you think he is.
I heard a situation where he was at St. Joe's working with the.
Yeah, he's working because why? He doesn't want to work around competition.
Okay, so
I'm sorry that's not a mental disorder. That's just a sadness.
Let me say this:
working out with college kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me say this about the Ben Simmons thing, and I try to stay away from it because it's a little bit too much for me. If somebody is treating mental health as an excuse just to get money, you deserve to be out of the league. Period.
Wow.
I am sick and tired of this guy. And I'm trying to hold back because I'm not trying to say the F-bomb right now. But I'm really tempted to. But I'm sick and I'm fucking tired of this guy treating mental health because after Lane Johnson came out and he was like, I can do that too. Bullshit. You are full of shit. I swear to God. If anything happens to you, you deserve every karma thing ever since you came onto this court. Wow. And you are nothing more than a disgrace.
I 100% agree with everything he just said.
I'm excited right now.
Right, on that note, please call in for those tickets.
Yeah. You just got now aroused. Anyhow, but here's the thing. I agree with everything you said, including and not discluding the idea that if he's doing that he's doing this, he needs to be kicked out of the league.
He does.
Because
I already said earlier on a couple of weeks ago on the show. I said it's not good for because the thing is what's going to happen. All right, say today something comes up. Ben Simmons trade coming down the pipeline. Here it comes. Right. Oh, they're going to trade the Celtics. They're going to trade wherever. It doesn't matter. Whoever they trade him to, and then he goes out and starts playing ball right away. Not saying he's going to play well, but his all suddenly the mental illness thing becomes less of a problem. You're not just, like you said, you're not lying. You're spitting in the face at many people. Mental illness is one thing that most people have been affected by one way in their life, either directly or indirectly, right?
Correct.
So if you come out and play, because that's the other thing now. If I'm a team looking, I'm like, can he play right away? Is he going to be mentally strong to play? They thought they had this, everybody saw this coming. There was something he's going, ooh, cramp, or ooh, something's going to come up as soon as he comes back, so they have to pay him.
Right.
Well, that's why. And he found this taboo situation, called for what it is, where it's hard. You can't physically prove it. There's no testing or there's testing for it, but there's no it's not like a breaking of the leg. You X-ray, there's the broken leg. Nobody's lying. You know what I mean?
And the other thing too that makes it even worse is that he's going up to St. Joe's and practicing with those guys. It's like, do you have a mental disorder or you just don't want to be here? If you don't want to be here, then get the fuck out.
Yeah,
and I completely agree. And here's the thing that I add on to all of this that infuriates.
Pardon my French.
No,
That's okay.
we love
you
French
are
around here.
allowed. We.
Monsieur.
I sit and I really contemplated all this, and I honestly was like, this guy just doesn't deserve to play. Like he sets a. I said this to your dad, Joe, in the car a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
I said, and this is well before the mental hurdles and situations and all that.
Yeah.
I said, Ben is setting a very ugly precedent
Yes.
in the NBA, and if the NBA allows this,
They're not doing anything about it. That's what I can understand. Like, what's going on?
Well, Pag said that's why they haven't stepped in yet, because he chose this.
Do you think they
And
really?
listen, let me kind of follow up with something, because it's kind of got to go along with what you're saying.
They have to eventually.
Number one is, I'm not saying this guy doesn't have some sort of mental issue, because we've been
Right.
calling him mental
But
for.
I need to see proof of like that you're going to see doctors and
well,
actually just
listen,
people that
and
be
as
treated
you
for
know, it's not like you're going to get a needle in the eye. He could sit and talk to somebody for.
Sure.
and they're
By
not
the way,
gonna-
I got a needle in the eye before.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
But I'm saying is they're not gonna, even if they say he went to the doctor 60 times, does that make you feel better?
Well, I
anybody
just
can sit
need
on the
proof
couch
because
and
it's
talk to
just
you.
it's like a disgrace to like people who are going through a tough and rough patch that people go through on a daily basis. Like yours truly, Joey can tell you, and everyone else does. I just need to see if he's actually, because the one thing that really bothers me more than anything is that he doesn't want doctors to know about his issue, and it's like, do you have a problem? Do you have like a mental problem, or you just don't want to be here? If you don't want to be here, you got to go.
I mean, I say it like
Send him
this.
to Minnesota now.
And I said this to you before, James, and I've said this to you guys before, and I'm going to just kind of repeat what I said before, and it's this. So everyone here knows that I've been going through a lot of medical situations
Sure.
and anxiety and depression and everything like that. Due to that, I applaud and am privileged to be in the position that I'm in with this network, with this show, with the people that are around me and everything else. The reason why, and I mean, Tom, when I was going through my recovery, he was like, I want you to come back to the show because at least get your mind off of things.
Right.
And honestly, when I came back, regardless of what I could see or not see and the depression and whatnot, I was around my team.
Right.
Like I was around my family. I was around my team. This is where I go. I call bullshit with Ben. And James, correct me if
As
I'm
do
wrong.
I.
Because if you have mental struggles, if you have depression or anxiety or anything, yes, Al, you can't prove it. But any
Right.
therapist says, get around your team, get around your support system.
Right.
Let them rally you. So I heard stories, and it's partly why Joel has COVID and Tobias, because they were having team dinners, like old school team dinners.
Right.
Not because they were prompted by Moria ownership or coaches or anything. They wanted to do it.
Right.
This is a team that wants to be a family, that wants to support one another. Ben, here's your perspective. If you're going to see a therapist, if you're going to see anyone, the first thing they're going to say is go around your support system. Let them pick you up. Don't do this on your own. It's not a battle or war you have to go through on your own.
Right.
I can contest to this myself. I couldn't be where I am today without the support that I've had of my support system. So that's why I call bullshit, because this guy could easily just walk into the gym. We're not saying that you have to step on the court, but you could walk into the gym. You could be around your teammates. You could let that sit in your head and get better. But no, you have to go to a college. You have to go and play down to yourself. I call bullshit because, listen, you aren't showing you want to get better even if you have an issue. You're not showing you want to take steps and use tools to get better. So that's why I agree with James wholeheartedly. You need to get this guy out of the league, because he's going to set an ugly precedent for all those young stars that are still coming into the league.
Right.
That think
And they can do that too.
exactly.
Well, our boy PSG said I mean, it'll probably create a Simmons rule after this whole situation.
They might. Possibility.
Come
on, call in for those tickets. Who wants them?
Yeah. So we can harp on the Ben Simmons thing until
I needed to vent that.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
no, that's fair.
Let that off my chest.
I'm glad you guys did. We can be therapeutic and entertaining.
Well, they did.
To you guys.
They did have a nice win against Denver the other night.
They did.
They did.
Yes.
That is a very big win.
Yes.
And you know what? They've been doing with almost next to nothing. And the other thing about the whole COVID thing is Tobias was really sick. Embiid is still.
What's his story? Do we know?
He was.
They were both really bad.
Got kicked in. Took the symptoms hard.
Really?
From what I understand.
Yeah, they both did.
I mean, and even look at
Well, so did Harris. Harris was
and
out
Curry
for a
had
while.
it last year.
Harris had it pretty bad though. He was out for what, two weeks?
Yeah, and Curry had it last year. And he said it took him a while to kind of
come back in.
You asked a question on your show, Al, and I had an answer, but you were like, "What's different from this year and last year?" When you talk about like why guys were sitting out on the COVID list, because last year they had contact tracing,
right?
So it didn't mean you needed to have it.
Yeah.
If you were around someone who did test positive, the league took all precautions by saying you need to sit.
Well, last year they were in a bubble too, Joey. So you got to understand. Like,
Well, no, they were
2 years ago.
They were
No, it was
2
2
years.
years
That's 2 years ago.
It was
Yeah,
2
2
years
years
ago.
ago.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry.
But
No, you good.
Time flies, man.
It does. What am
So-
I thinking? Right.
but
Yeah, but he
that's-
just thought the Cowboys won the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Right.
you and Waldo
So.
could be pen pals.
Time runs a lot.
Was that?
A
You
lot
and Waldo could be
slower.
That was 2
in
years
Dallas.
ago.
Yeah.
Really?
2020.
So they had limited.
Well, was it 2019, 2020 season?
Something like
Yeah.
that. Around the same
So-
time.
Well, I
Just-
mean, here's the thing.
Okay.
Maxey just got. They had an anniversary because of all the bubble and the COVID. His anniversary for when he got drafted
2 seasons
Was
ago.
yesterday,
was,
right?
Okay,
Thursday.
okay.
Oh,
Was
Thursday, right.
Thursday. So you want to talk about the guy is in his
Sorry,
second
Al.
season,
Yeah.
but he
Time
got
flies.
drafted a year ago.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the confusion, but that's what, to answer your question that you had on your show. That's the difference. Now it has to be, you have to test negative within 24 hours.
Is that what it?
Yeah.
Isn't it twice? You have to.
Twice within 24 hours.
I thought it was 48.
Oh, okay.
No, 24.
Okay.
No, just 24 hours of, I think.
24 hours negative, and then showing that you have no symptoms.
Okay.
So last year, the reason why it was so different when we had that one where Maxey went off against Denver.
Right.
Actually, at the Wells Fargo Center. He had his career high 39 points. It's when we technically almost had to forfeit the game because we only had technically 7 players available. Mike Scott was hurt. We had to dress 8, so we basically said, Mike, you're going to sit on the bench with warm-ups on. You're going to be active, but you're never going to touch the court. Okay? So I want to go into Maxey. Al, you have preached this. James, you've preached this. And Dave, you have preached this. And I think almost everybody has. About what we want out of a point guard. This is what you want.
Right.
Does he still have to work on stuff?
Sure.
Absolutely.
But for getting this kind of production out of a guy his age, I mean, last year he stepped in and played in a big role, and usually with a coach who doesn't really favor rookies.
In the playoffs, he did step up.
And he play up. And I'll give you this. I real quickly before the show started, I went and looked at the last 5 games that Tyrese Maxey has played.
And his.
In the last 5 games, he scored 22 points, 16 points, 24 points, 33 points, 31 points.
Talk about consistency.
Field goals percentage, 60, 50, 67, 63, 50. 3-point percentage, 67, 50, 75, 33, and 44.
75.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
And you think, okay, 33. Oh, wow, that's bad. But look, he's still learning. But,
Well,
but
this
what
is
was
trying to
the-
get better.
The funny thing,
Joey.
But at least he's taking the shot.
I was gonna say, at least he's shooting,
exactly.
right?
Joe, you want to hear the funny
the
thing?
ball.
He 33. Well, the league average is 35, so he's 2% under the league average,
Okay.
right? He also scored 33 points that night. He just didn't do it with the 3 ball. That's all. Like, I'm just saying, take it for what it is.
But that's what we've been.
Well, how many-
everybody's been preaching, especially like when Ben was here.
How many
he was the
times was
point
he at the
guard.
lines?
I feel like when Ben was here, it felt like it was like a power play, but except we were on the penalty kill. It was like a 5-on-4.
5-on-4.
We're playing
On defense, it's a power play. On offense, it's a penalty kill. It's like,
yeah,
shouldn't it be
you can
the
have it both
opposite?
ways.
Either way, right?
So,
Yeah.
but with Maxey, he changes the speed, and like I said, for a guy who's 21, and you know, think about this, he's got some things to work on, no doubt.
Right.
But this is what everybody's been begging for: a point guard that ain't shy with the ball.
Especially to shoot it. I mean,
Dude, you see those little floaters he puts like right over guys' heads? I mean, like they're pretty. And
Yeah.
and you want, like you said, it's a confidence thing.
Yep.
He showed no fear at all. Last year, he could, from the second he hit the court, and he just keeps growing and getting better and better, and he works on it. He works on his game. He's everything we want in a player. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, he's the next LeBron James or anything crazy like that.
Right.
But he could be a guy, a damn good superstar, down the line.
That's why I think they,
or at least a star.
That's why I think he went from being on the trade block to not being on the trade block.
So this is 5-game road trip run right now. We're what are we 1-2 so far?
Yeah.
And we have.
Well, the last they lost. They lost 5 games before last night.
I'm just going on the 5-game road trip right now.
And just keep in mind,
they're 1-2 right now, right?
Yeah, 1-2.
They got Portland tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, so before they lost to Utah,
Okay.
they had a 6-game winning streak against the West.
Mm-hmm.
So they fared pretty well against.
That's
the
what I'm
West.
saying. If they get 1-2 now, I think you would finish 3.
Look,
3-2 wouldn't be bad.
I don't have in this road trip the way that things are. You just take what you can get.
Oh sure. I mean,
it's too. I mean, I'm with Doc. It's a marathon, not a race.
Right.
Like we gotta
Just-
let's slow our roll.
Just stay above water.
Right. Just stay above water.
Right.
In the East, it's going to be more tangible to get into the playoffs,
Sure.
even if you have bouts of struggle throughout the season.
Mm.
There's a lot of teams.
I was watching the Celtics last night against the Lakers. They look good, man. The Celtics look pretty good.
Yeah, they're a dumpster fire.
Well, I get it, but
They're a dumpster fire.
no.
They're a dumpster fire with the dumpster fire of a GM. So, yeah, that's my take. I said that in the beginning of the season. They're going to be a dumpster fire. They are. They're trying to sell off the team.
I was watching Big Al. He was like, "Wow, Big Al! Look at Big Al go!"
And listen, I love that they're a dumpster fire because this was a team 4 years ago when they had Kyrie and Tatum and Brown and Rosen.
Well, he's still a
right
stud.
when they had all these guys. And they're going to win the championship. And on our show, I was the only one, shocker, that disagreed with everybody and said, no, they're not. Just because you have talent doesn't mean you have chemistry. Doesn't mean that there's only one ball.
Right.
And there's 5 guys. So you have to figure out who's going to be the leader. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons why I think this Sixers team is better off without Ben Simmons. Because it's... I have more faith in whatever Joe wants to do with the ball. Give him the ball. Let him figure it out.
But Joey, I got to be honest. I miss his defense, though. I do.
I don't miss him at all.
I miss it. I'm
tired of him.
I know. We know. I said I'm
sorry.
tired. I'm tired. I miss his defense. I do because
you know what?
He's a very good defensive player,
I-
and we do need that.
I'm not going to be a hypocrite in this sense. He's a one-way player. I already said it earlier. The MVP last year was the most valuable participant because he showed up every game, but he was a one-way player.
Okay.
I don't agree that Jokic should have won the MVP.
I think Joel should have.
I believe you have to play offense and defense. Now, in Ben Simmons' thing, he plays defense, but he does not play offense.
That's why he wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Correct.
Right. Well, in the ranking anyway.
Which is also an individual award.
That was Gobert won it last year.
PSG put out a point. We do miss Matisse as well. He's also been
I would agree with.
Especially from a. I mean, we're scoring points, but so is the other team.
He's questionable for tonight.
He is questionable for tonight, but I know
Nice.
Embiid is definitely still out.
Yes.
So here's why I think we're missing Matisse, because if you look at the Pacers game and you look at the Utah game, they scorched us from 3. The defense, you could tell, there was a Doc sat the team down and was like, "Listen, we got to hunker down on defense. That's the only way we're going to beat the Denver Nuggets."
Real quick, Joey, before you go there, and I know you're sorry to cut you off, but that kid Jaden Springer stepped up the other night. He had 22 points. I thought that was
that was Bassey.
I thought that was Jaden Springer.
No, it was Bassey.
Bassey.
That was Bassey.
I think it was Bassey.
Wrong rookie, but I'm hopeful about Springer too.
I thought Springer had.
No, that was Bassey. Bassey killed it against.
Okay.
So I think he's.
Well, I think this kid can step up.
I do too.
Give him a shot.
But here's where I'm going with is that with Thibault, and if you saw with the Pacers game with Justin Holiday, I believe it was from 3 range, he was on fire. We weren't guarding the 3-point line. We weren't guarding the perimeter. They were scorching us, both them and Utah.
Okay.
And so when you miss Matisse, is that perimeter defense?
Okay.
He's a guy that you don't there's something that Allah said during it's almost as though he's playing with the guy.
All right, guys, we got a call. Hold on 1 second here.
Call. Nice.
All right, caller, you're on the line. What is your name and where are you calling from?
This is JC Eagles Talk. calling from Virginia.
Oh, what's going on, brother? You want to win these tickets for tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I'll give you one here. It shouldn't be too hard, but here's your question. What safety leads the Eagles all time in interceptions?
What safety leads the Eagle all time in interception?
I'll give you a multiple choice if you want it.
Okay, go ahead.
Troy Vincent, Eric Allen, Brian Dawkins, Reggie White.
It's not Reggie White. It's not Troy Vincent because that's a DB. I have to say, it's between Eric Allen and Brian Dawkins. I'm going to go with Brian Dawkins.
You got it, my friend.
Wow.
Go with the gut. Go with the gut.
Congratulations.
All right,
Congrats,
bro.
buddy.
Do me a favor, all right? What you're going to do is, as soon as you get off the line with us, go to Edge of Philly on Facebook right away and message us directly with your email and your full name, and I will get back to you as soon as we're done doing the show and get you those tickets, all right?
Yeah, and Eagle Strong Facebook group is the one that sent me here.
Yeah,
so
Eagle Strong, man.
to them.
Did you say you were from Virginia?
Well, I'm from Jersey, but I live in Virginia right now, and I will be at the game tomorrow.
Oh, okay, I was going to say you're going to come down.
So just so you know, it's at the Navy Yard right there at the
Gatehouse.
Gatehouse. Yeah.
And so you go there. We'll get you on the list. Philly Sports Trips will be there. Free food, free booze, 97.5. Courtesy of Philly Sports Trips. Thank you very much, man.
Check out the Flamin' Yon sandwich.
Yeah, check it out. Tell James to talk about it.
Get that Flamin' Yon sandwich.
Yeah, so like I said, as soon as you get off, message us directly on Facebook, and I will we'll get you those tickets, all right?
And what's the name of the Facebook group again? Edge of...
No, it's a page. It's a page. Edge of Philly Sports.
Okay.
All right, bud?
All right, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for calling.
Yep.
Thanks for calling, man.
All right. Right there at the...
Hey, we got at the deadline. Look at that.
At the deadline, you got to give it.
See, now, I with that trivia question, that's like
and what
cheating
was
for me.
What was his name again now?
JC.
JC. I thought he said.
Okay. Like, I knew Brian Dawkins because that's my guy. So
I was going to say, it wasn't Eric Allen.
I was thinking Eric Allen. That was
I was thinking Eric Allen, too, but I was like, wait a minute.
I think most people who was born in the last 30 years or so.
I would have said Eric Allen.
Dawkins. Yeah,
Eric Allen would have been my guess.
BD, baby. But, like...
Number 21, Eric Allen, right?
This is the thing. So, going forward with the Sixers, I see this team kind of modulating together, especially after this road trip. It's going to take some time to get Embiid's legs.
It's going to take time.
Right. But here's where I kind of say that there's, going to be a deal made. And it may be Ben Simmons. It may be a Ben Simmons and Danny Green trade. Danny Green.
Mr. Hamstring himself.
Well,
he's been inconsistent all year.
Well, he's always hurt.
Here's my...
Well, yeah.
He's also overthinking.
Guess, I mean,
he's also overthinking because he's not shooting...
And you guys know I'm a Danny Green guy. I like Danny.
Right.
No, I hear you.
But he's not shooting from the corner like he's used to.
Mm-hmm.
So, for whatever reason, he's going outside of his own game. I don't know why. But...
It's not like him.
This is why I think...
It's a bit concerning.
This is why I think Mr. Springer is going to be coming up.
Oh, okay.
Because they like what they see out of Bassie.
Right.
They like what they see out of Big Ball Paul.
Mm-hmm.
First off.
Which I love.
I'm a
Big Paul fan. I love him.
Little B-ball Paul.
Let me just comment about how B-ball Paul basically housed the Greek Freak in a block.
He did.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're here. We understand.
Right.
But
yes,
Eric
Allen was a corner.
So by the way,
right.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
I'm pointing that out. Jamie was. That's why it was the throw off.
Yeah, right. That threw me off. Right. Okay.
What?
My fault. Eric Allen is a corner, not a safety.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Eric Allen actually started as a safety, but then got converted to corner because he was too slow. Yeah. So
okay.
Here's my thing. I feel like this team, George Niang was a steal. Was a steal for this team.
Right. Yeah.
I think Big Ball Paul, Bassie, Springer eventually.
Mm-hmm.
You got Maxey turning it up. Seth Curry needs to stay in the game flow that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
You bring back Embiid, who I still feel like is the best center in the league.
Well,
you make a deal for Ben Simmons, and I
you and most people, by the way.
Huh?
You said you think he's the best one in the league.
Yeah. Who else is better?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
I think you and most people would
Right.
say that.
Well, no, a lot of people still are like. We had a person in here the other couple of weeks ago, and he was like, "No, Jokic," and I'm like, "Yeah, but here's the problem: you have to play both sides of the court,
Right.
and if you're a center, typically you need to be good defensively too. It actually starts reverse for centers. You have to be good defensively, and then if you're good offensively, that's great. Sure. That's like cake. But this is.
Joe, you and cake. What's going on?
I need flaming yan.
Somebody's blood sugar's low today.
I need flaming yan. I need flaming yan and cake. Well, my birthday's next week.
I want cake.
My birthday's next week. So
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right.
That could be one.
Yeah. So be sure to tune in next week because I'm sure Tom's got something up his sleeve for me. My feeling with this team is this is why I also say that we have to cut bait with Ben, regardless of what it is.
Him again.
I think you get the albatross off your neck.
Right.
This team can move forward.
Oh, sure.
This team just can move forward.
That's not even the best,
And at this point, I understand we want the best deal. I still go back to my original prediction that I think you should trade him to OKC.
I think you should Minnesota.
Because
Just trade him to a terrible team. Actually, no. I'll tell you what.
Minnesota.
Go to Minnesota,
Go.
Houston, or any of these
Somewhere
teams that are just god awful,
he
and
could
just send them.
He could be the man there.
Send
and
them
just
for
go.
a bag of peanuts,
Well,
like I said back in the day.
Well, I don't know about the peanut thing, but
First of all,
I hear you.
the reason why I say trade him to OKC, a friend of mine's like, no, you got to trade him contract for contract. I'm like,
Right.
no, not if they have the cap space.
right.
So OKC is looking for youth and talent. Someone on 94 WIP 2 weeks ago said, Ben just needs to go somewhere where he can be mediocre
Minnesota.
and
Houston.
the media not
They're
destroy
literally
him,
tanking.
and no one cares.
I
I was like, OKC checks all those boxes.
Well, they do.
And
So-
so-
Well, yeah,
so does
Oklahoma
Minnesota.
does.
It's the
OKC
same
does
thing.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Go to the Timberwolves and just go.
here's my thing.
Just be gone.
I would rather go and get OKC's 2 first-round picks and have someone else to come in and rotate with Maxey.
right.
Well,
That's what I would want.
yeah, but here's my, and I always go back to this. It's the Embiid window, and I know we're getting to the end of the show because we've got about a few minutes left here. But it's the Embiid window. So if you're going to get 2 first-round picks, you need a 3-way trade. You need, or somebody who's
True.
or you get those picks and unload those picks on somebody else, because that's what I feel needs to happen. Like if you want to get somebody here now, that's fine. Maybe you can't make a trade for Ben Simmons with somebody who has more than picks and bench players, and fine. Then
Well, if that's your only option now, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I get it, but I'm saying you need to be able to take those 2 first-round picks and option them together with something else.
Right.
Maybe another player. I think PSG said he's not a big Korkmaz fan.
Yeah, I
Take
saw that.
Korkmaz.
Oh, don't diss the Sultan, man.
Yeah.
Don't diss the Sultan. Bow down to the Sultan.
Yes.
Because believe me, that man is got all the swag.
Corky can shoot, but I'm not much on the defense. I'm just not. I mean, you know.
Dude,
I mean,
what
he's-
did you think? Okay, he's a 3 and D, more 3 than D. But
Awesome,
Right.
JC.
but
Was that?
here's my thing is I like Korkmaz because he's just a better version of Darius Saric. And a better offensive talent than Darius
I'll
Saric.
give you that.
So that's what you.
But his defense is not.
I understand
there.
that.
Joey. It's not there.
But you don't need him for his defense. That's not what you need to worry about.
Okay.
You need guys that are shooters coming off the bench. He's not starting.
True.
Well, he may be now.
Sometimes.
But like in the most traditional times, he's not starting.
Right. I mean, you had Shake Milton starting the other day. I mean, come on. You know.
I'm still not sold on Shake.
I ain't sold on Shake either.
I mean, he's
he's
had
alright.
some good games, but I'm not. I
He's a
mean,
bench player.
yeah.
And he is. That's
Just
what he
think
is.
about it.
Exactly.
I almost would rather have T.J. McConnell back. That's just me. But
All right, calm down. Calm down. This guy.
but here, so
We got an extra spot, and we need a little heart and soul. Sure,
I'm
I'll
going
go
to
with
kind
it.
of end in some way with my rant about Ben
TJ
Simmons with a kind of a
McConnell.
joke.
Okay.
So a couple of years ago,
I thought that was what that was. What
no, a couple of years ago on VH1 there was something called The Surreal Life.
Oh no.
I think we need to have a 76ers Surreal Life.
Oh, absolutely.
The cast is going to look like this: Markelle Fultz, Evan Turner, Jaleel
Should be a couple
Okafor,
Sturpey.
Ben Simmons.
Wait. You're putting Evan Turner in there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Evan Turner,
Okay.
Jaleel Okafor.
It should be couple Sturpey or behind the music.
Well, I just think it'd be comical television, if anything. You're going to have a bunch of guys that were high draft picks and like, so what did you do? Nothing. What did you do? Nothing. What'd you do? Nothing. What did you do, Ben? I tried to get paid. All I did was not.
No, he didn't try. He got paid.
He
He got paid, and he's giving himself not paid anymore.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing is, you know,
Trying to get paid to
I
get
find
not
it.
get paid.
I find it as the 76ers surreal life. Let's get that started.
Life of the 76ers.
behind the six.
Behind the Sixers. There you go.
Because it's not basketball lives. It's not that because they're not playing basketball. I mean,
Right.
that's just not happening.
Right.
So they might as well just talk about
man.
their
Oh, God.
a bunch of 20-somethings talking about back when I was good. When was that? And when I was
In
in college.
2021, Ben
Right.
Simmons decided to be a douchebag.
I don't think 2021 is when he decided.
No, I think.
Well,
it was
I think
no,
that
it's
decision was
now.
made a while
I
ago.
think- I think that's when
We
he
were
was
looking past this
exposed.
because we thought we were getting a good
Wait,
we
player.
finally
Right.
saw what he
Yeah.
really was.
I think
You're
that's
all
when he was
guilty of it.
exposed.
No, we
as
finally-
a douchebag.
All right, guys. I want to remind you that this show is brought to you by Philly Sports Trips, and yes, JC was our big winner tonight. He got
Congrats,
2 free
JC.
tickets, buddy. Him and a friend are going to go down to the Navy Yard, the boathouse. Check it out, or the gatehouse. I said the boathouse.
Gatehouse.
Gatehouse. Check it out. It is hours of free booze, great food, party, music.
Did he say he was going to the game?
97.5. Yeah, he's
Yes.
going to the game.
Okay, so
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
So he's already gone to the game. This is perfect for him. This is why it is perfect. Even if you can't travel, go to phillysportstrips.com. Sign up for it. You can still get them, even though you have to pay for it this time. There'll be more contests coming down the line. Keep watching, keep listening, keep following Edge of Philly Sports.
And
There'll be
JC.
more, but this is a great tailgate.
Yes.
The price is right. The food is great. The booze is right. Guess
Excellent.
what? You don't have to bring jack shit with you. Yeah, I
Yes.
use jack shit in my
So-
head. I don't care. You go down the Navy Yard is spitting distance from
Yes.
the
it's not-
all
And it's
the
a good time.
all the area.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah,
away.
and you can walk if you wanted to.
Sure.
Yes, and that's
Um,
the
I don't
best
think
thing.
I don't think he's walked from Virginia, but
No, I'm saying from
No,
from
no,
the,
from
the
South
Navy Yard to that. But they have these great tailgates, or you can go on their awesome trips. For instance, if you want to go on an awesome trip, you can go to the Giants game on a bus trip. That's right. Go on Philly Sports Trips. They have other ones coming up too. I'm gonna be telling you guys next week. Great stocking stuffers. I'm just gonna put this out.
Excellent.
The holidays
Excellent.
are coming up. Like, how hard is
Black Friday's coming up.
Hey, ladies, listen and listen real good, because I'm just going to throw this out here.
Oh boy.
Because I've had about 10 of my friends' wives call me
Really?
saying, "You're so hot." No, I'm just kidding. No, they said, "Yo," I said,
This is the porn version
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
Pattison
Fanatic
Ave.
Fanatic show.
No, they said, why did I ever? Yeah.
You hot thing, you.
My point is, like, I don't know what to get a guy that has everything. I don't want to get him like we don't do this anymore. He can't get that. But I don't know what to get him. PhillySportsTrips.com.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's so many things. It doesn't have to be for the Eagles. I want to point that out. They got a trip to Nashville coming up.
Nice.
They have the Orlando trip, which is badass. It's 2 preseason games in Orlando for the Phillies and Sixers Orlando.
Wow.
In March. Yeah, it comes out in March too. Spring training trips already booked solid. You can still get it. There's a couple seats left. Get into it. There's a Bronx bus trip. If you're maybe your price, you don't have that same thing. Like, I can't spend a couple hundred, like $400, $500, $600, $700. Then fine. The bus trips. You get the ticket. The whole trip is the cost of the price of the ticket anywhere else.
There you go.
It is the
Absolutely.
best. I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor. I've used them.
Yes.
You got to use it. Check it out. PhillySportsTrips.com. Like I said, the next big bus trip that's coming up is the Giants game on the 28th. Leave South Philly, go to New York, booze, food, entertainment,
Aren't they
game,
doing the Jets too?
get back.
Aren't they doing the Jets too?
They're doing the Jets the following week.
Well, they're in New York, but
So you'll be
aren't they in
back to back in New York.
Yeah.
So you get 2 trips to New York, and hopefully it's a slap around of both New York
Yeah.
teams, and that's what we'll see. But PhillySportsTrips.com.
I heard
check them
Saquon's
out.
coming back soon.
And
so.
JC,
That
if you,
scares me not at all.
and JC, if you can, when you go to the tailgate tomorrow and you enjoy yourself, take some pictures, tag Philly Sports Trips.
Yeah, we'd love to see 'em.
And tag Edge of Philly Sports.
Yeah, we would love to see you having fun. Speaking of Edge of Philly Sports, just the greatest network of sports all out there right now. And that's not just live shows. There's articles. There is 2 new podcasts that dropped. If you guys haven't heard the Monday Mailbag, Joe's been doing a great job. We're going to get everybody involved in this one. It's just great. People getting like all their frustrations after a loss or excitement after a win or something that maybe happened in between shows. The Monday Mailbag is a quick 10, 15-minute at most podcast that covers all those questions that people send us that we got to answer right away. So Monday Mailbag, checked it out. And the launching of Fridays with Fred.
I was going to say,
Freddie just launched his first Fridays with Fred.
How'd it go?
Great. Had Jeff Kerr from CBS Sports interviewed him, talked a lot of Eagles.
Very nice.
Wow. They even touched on a little Ben Simmons, believe it or not. But, yeah, it was mainly the Eagles talk, Eagles Saints. So it was his first one, and it was really good. So if you haven't checked it out, EOPsports.com or follow us on YouTube or Facebook or one of them. You will get all that stuff right where you need it.
Fridays with Freddie.
Fridays with Freddie.
Awesome.
And also for you Lax lovers, click on the lacrosse tab. All right, we got Lax Philly killing it. Kevin and Garrett and Sean and the rest of the team there doing an amazing job. And I know we've been saying live shows coming soon.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Okay.
The NLL will be starting up, and their show is about to go, I believe, in December. You'll be seeing the first live. So here's another show we just added to the network. Content, guys.
Nice.
Check it out. All great content. So like I said, check out the whole network, Broad Street Bully Podcast, Philly Press Box Radio, EOP Live, Birds IQ, and, of course, Pattison Ave Fanatics with Lax Philly, and those podcasts I just mentioned. It's a great time. And more to come. There is a lot more to come.
Sure.
Guys, any last thoughts you want to say before we head out?
I just came here so I didn't get fined.
Yeah. He's been holding on that one.
Come on, Flyers. I need you to win tonight, guys.
What was that?
I need the Flyers to win
I
big
like to
time
see a Sixers win tonight against Portland.
Yeah, guys, got 2 games tonight.
And
Enjoy.
Too. Yeah.
Stick by. If you miss some of the. Hey, guys, if you missed the game, go right to Edge of Philly at the end of the game. There's always a post game. Quick 5 5. The Broad Street Bully Podcast puts out their 5 takeaways. There's always stuff going on. Check it out.
And for TK out there, I'm going to say there's 3 teams playing today. Go Irish. We're hoping for another win.
TK, enjoy your
Irish fans.
No, Wicked. Sure. Yeah, he went to go see Wicked in New York. Yes, have a good time with that.
Right. Yeah,
have a good time, brother.
Yes.
So I mean, like, listen, the Bruins. We handed them their ass last time.
We did.
Let's hope.
Let's do it again.
Hope it again. Let's
see if the Sixers can keep
again.
rolling and keep their head above water.
Great.
While we wait for Embiid and Thibault to get back.
To come back. Right.
All right, guys. I'm Big Al.
I'm James Scorza.
I'm Joe Marks.
Dave Yarnell.
And we out.
Later.
Later.
See you.